Okay. Oh, alright, so I was seriously debating on what the fuck game I should be playing tonight. Because it was either this or I was gonna play one of my new games that I got. Well, it's new to me. That I got. It's called Control. But I decided I gotta do at least one more day of this. So, here we are. Yeah. So, what the hell? Sorry. Keep forgetting about that one. So I'm gonna get started. I changed characters last time after Isabella's almost death. Yeah, I know she's alive and shit, but that's all I got. Now I'm a rich socialite. I don't know. Words. I'm gonna pretend that this is probably the right word, and go from there. Okay. Alright. It's far too easy to get them paying attention and raptured. They hung on my every word and followed my every move. All would have been stifling had I not grown used to such stares. Most are respectful, some are hostile, if we were honest. And a few are downright inappropriate. After all, I am...
On a right!
Oh yeah, it's a little loud actually, hold on. Okay. My headphones are turned up too loud. There's a moment of agitation as a familiar, but less than welcome face approaches me with a suggestive smirk on his face. Of course I have to keep a benevolent smile and greet him as I greet any good friend. After all, this man can turn heads, being famous in his own right.
Officer Lee! What a pleasant surprise. I didn't think you'd have the time to attend tonight's party.
He's more Luke's friend than mine, really. And I'm quite sure I only invited his wife. Hold on. I'll be right back real quick. My cat wants out. And I don't know how he got in there. Hold on. Just a sec. There we go. Cat somehow locked himself in one of the rooms. Not very sure how he did that, but whatever. I also grabbed my Pepsi while I was away because I forgot to get a drink because how much I want to seriously be talking during this thing. Much like I'm only friends with Inspector Chief because of Luke, Luke is only friends with Rochelle because of me. Unlike how I treated Lee, however, Luke never hid his animosity for the Lee matriarch. It was an odd sort of friendship where we would have had awkward dates. I don't even recall his first name. It started with an N, I think, but I might be wrong. Sorry for being Chief Inspector of Luxborn, please. His wife Rochelle Lee Events, I think that's the name. Owns a General Electronics company. Fridges and freezers mostly.
Oh, I always have time for my favorite socialite couple. Might I say, you look positively ravishing tonight. I see the husband isn't with you.
The way he eyes me up is enough to make my skin crawl. I wish Luke was here to fend off the more unseemingly of our peers. You know the ones. Men who are just a bit too friendly, staring too long at my assets, getting close just because my husband's not here. And to think they had the gall to do this at my own party. My own house, might I add. But like any high society woman with her salt, I know how to handle it with grace and dignity.
I suppose you're looking pleasant as well. Luke's busy with work, unfortunately. Rochelle isn't here?
A shame. I do hope he isn't causing you much trouble. That husband of yours can be a bit daft sometimes, acting like he's still some young bachelor. The wife sends her regards and her apologies, but something came up with a doctor and she needed to attend to it. You know her, being pregnant and all.
Yeah, but in the middle of the night, that's a little odd, but whatever. We make small talk. Rather, I'm forced to do so, as he would not leave my side after finding his place there. Much to my chagrin, I've been extricated from the few who flock in hopes of flattering, for I can tolerate them far better than Lee. He's a nice enough person, and I adore his wife, who is obviously the brains behind the two. But there is something unsettling about him. I do not trust him as much as I want to. He regales me tales of the Luxembourg Police Department, a different affair to the usual gossip I'm privy to, and though I love to admit, it's interesting nonetheless. You know, I just saw something. Isn't Ash one of the detectives here? It'd be interesting if he's like investigating the rights. Like he really doesn't seem to like them, but it'd be interesting to be like investigating the rights and shit. And the reason why he's getting pissed off about it is because this guy's messing with his investigation. Wait, that's gonna be really annoying. I don't know. I kind of doubt it though. I mean, if he did it right, he could. I don't know. This guy is kind of weird though too, but probably just because pervert weird, not anything else. I expect the topic of business to die out quickly, which would be understandable enough to the confidential nature of his work. But oh boy, was I wrong.
So, wearing civvies, I steal and drive off with one of the police mobiles, right? In the mirror, I see the mutant chasing on foot and screaming about theft. The look on his face was priceless when I parked it in the garage.
Oh my. You made him chase you all the way home for a prank. What did Rochelle have to say about that?
That's mean. Rochelle has a strange love and hate affair with Lee. He's a married man who did not grow up past his early 20s, just by the way he acts. Surprising enough, they've been married for a good 20 years. A lifetime if you compare to my marriage of 7 years with Luke. I, on the other hand, well, Luke is no Lee. I should be happy about that, I suppose. Although, my darling did have his moments.
The wife pulled my ear and gave me a good talking to, though. Besides, we live in a flat a block away, so it wasn't much of a grand chase.
Weren't you living in a house near the countryside?
Moved for work, you know. Or you probably don't.
Yeah, they do give me a bit of a break from talking. I don't mind it too much. Just it gets tiring after a while. How's it going, Snorlax?
No, I don't. But a flat in downtown? I suppose if that's what you like.
Oh, it's horrid. Hate that tiny place, no matter how convenient it can be for work. 55 square yards are not enough when you need to get away from the wife. I wouldn't mind a place away
I don't
from
even
the
know how
city.
to dig, though.
Even started looking at the ads. I spied an interesting lot, actually. Heard it was finally put up for sale. Or that something mansion, you know the one with all the ghost stories.
I know what he's talking about. There are really only few urban legends around here. It's
The Ermagerd Mansion?
That's the one. Worthy of a king it is. I'd buy it myself, but Rochelle would only gripe if I brought it up to her.
Wait, was that spelled wrong actually, or did she just pronounce it wrong? I'm not sure.
Not to mention all the expenses a place like that will be a real fixer-upper. You also have to find someone willing to work there with how superstitious people can be.
If it becomes a problem, just hire someone to do an exorcism.
Actually, I do know of someone who could be up to the task. You remember the Ludgates party at their Christchurch summer residence?
Of course. It was an excellent soiree. Everything was so classy, too. Such good taste.
Oh, that place was a pigsty until they hired out this interior designer and they turned it into a bloody palace. She worked for the Exodus for their apartment in Soho too, and they recommended her when we were looking up pieces for our beach house in Porto Colom.
Actually, where is that?
I
don't
think
know.
I have a business card right it. No, I must have left it in my other jacket. Anyway, she's called, what's her name? McCullough, Marianne, I believe, yes. But truly, if anyone were to get that place in McCullough, well, they'd be the envy and the talk of the town.
Well, if you put it that way, I might just snatch it up for myself.
And she does.
This place was starting to feel a bit small lately anyway.
Sure, a 3-story penthouse might not fit the definition of small for some people. Okay, maybe a lot of people. But it's big enough to have grand parties in. As it is, I only invited about 30 people to this one, and I already feel it's cramped in here. It certainly would be nice if I didn't have to ride an elevator up and down several floors before I can get anywhere as well. All Luke's words, not mine. Besides, I've been looking for a good anniversary gift. Luke might like this one. Where is he, anyway? I already have a bad relationship in the first place. If I remember right, like, it's down from the base, and I just started the damn game. Like, just started her section of it, so I don't know what the hell happened there. Luke is dressed in nines, as he usually is, and he looks ready for whatever the day will throw at him. His butler and valet wait at his side, just in case he isn't ready as he looks. Oh sure, that is normal. What confused me is the fact that he is on his way out of the penthouse, considering he won't have anywhere to go until much later.
Where are you going?
I am to attend the Triad Autumn Tasting. I do believe I informed you of this 2 weeks ago.
Yes. And might I remind you that I had stricken that off your schedule? Because 1, the doctor told you to stop consuming so much alcohol. And 2, I informed you a few days ago about the open house we are going to attend in its place. I've even found this marvelous interior designer, Mary Ann McCullough.
It's a 3.5-hour drive to Cardiff. I don't have time for this.
Rude.
This is like that little party you threw all over again. You don't inform me of it, and you expect me to stay and be a gracious
Jesus
host
Christ.
when I have business elsewhere.
Well, you should probably listen to your doctor if he said maybe you should stop drinking.
You know how I operate, Hana. Unless this was penciled in, I am sticking to my schedule.
If I may intrude, the madam is correct. Your physician did insist you moderate your drinking, unless you wish to incur acute pancreatitis.
I don't know why, but that's not the voice I envisioned this dude having, but okay.
And you did have this open house penciled in last Wednesday morning.
Bullocks, I don't remember doing so.
Well, you did. While very hungover, in fact.
Okay, that's what he's doing. Jesus Christ, I can hear my cat. He did. Moaned about me being too loud, but gave in after some pushing. Perhaps I was a bit too cruel and manipulative of me, but...
Whose side are you on?
Come on, Luke. You promised we'd do whatever I want this weekend.
Gordon Bennett, fine. I am giving this house tour
Gordon
yours
Bennett?
a chance. But if it proves to be a waste of time, I am going to Cardiff, and you are going to take a cab home. Are we clear?
This is a bit of a husband and wife tit for tat, isn't it? All couples have their arguments. And he still seems like a douche. Once the honeymoon phase is over, as they seem to call it, reality sets in that you and your partner might always see eye to eye. Perhaps it's been the years. 7 of them is something to scoff at.
I just cannot bloody believe I agreed to this. I was really looking forward to the Triad tasting.
Though sometimes I think it's something a bit more than simple disagreements, and I have to stop myself from wondering where we went wrong.
There's always the Triad Christmas tasting in Manchester next month, and that'll only be an hour-and-a-half drive.
Hey, you shouldn't be encouraging us drinking. Have I been neglectful? Have I offended? Have I acted shamefully?
Yes, but Cardiff.
Certainly any problem can be discussed. As long as he doesn't turn me away.
Well, there goes my good mood. Are you happy now, Hana?
Quite. I'm defending myself. I don't know how.
Yes, I am very happy, Luke. Because for once in a very long time, we are doing what I want. I'm ecstatic. Understood? And this would be perfect if you stop acting like a child who needs their nappy changed. We will be leaving after lunch for the Ermengarde mansion.
Oh yeah, so she did pronounce it wrong earlier. Okay.
You are going to park your rear in the car and keep mum. And you are going to behave during the tour.
Needless to say, Luke looks fished up a little outburst. He opened and closed his mouth a few times, struggling to reply before he crossed his arms and looks like, well, a moping child.
Any more rules for this little excursion of yours, Your Highness?
Quite a few. Shut up.
No wine.
That too.
No wine. Unacceptable! I am already not allowed to the tasting, and you would deprive me of that simple pleasure?
Yes.
If I see you take one sip today, I will put the stocks under lock and key. Do you understand me?
Don't forget the bottles he keeps in his dresser.
What?
Whose side are you on?
How many times in one day can you ask that?
As many times as I need you, traitor.
I like him. Okay, what did that do to my relationship? Oh, it went up, so I guess it's better I defended myself. Right, the ride to the mansion is quiet, with Luke having to stare out the window the entire way, not paying attention to anything around him. Meanwhile, I'm conflicted. I don't know if I should apologize for changing his plans like that. But by the time we arrive at the mansion, and I see his eyes light up in genuine interest, apology is the last thing on my mind. The whole affair at the Ermengarde mansion is certainly an interesting experience. The place has been renovated and restored by the owners to what they claim to be acceptable standards. The mansion itself looks like something befitting a fairy tale or a period piece. It's tastefully decorated, and with a bit of love and attention, I'm sure it can be a place Luke and I call home. The number of other prospective buyers that have come from the powerful and wealthy of Luxburn has certainly did not disappoint, marking this estate as prime property. Lees are amongst the group who went with the Rose Woman, and I saw a few notable faces, though I did not really feel like mingling. Unfortunately for every one of them, the Wrights are interested in buying. What's not bugging my mind, however, is that Isabel. I just got an achievement, and I'm not really sure what this achievement's for. What's bugging my mind, however, is that Isabel. What's her problem? I still don't quite understand what is happening. One moment she's scrambling to give us paperwork to finalize the sale. Then she's panicking over some sort of prank letter or another. And the second thing I'm reminded is how touchy my darling is being towards the poor dear. Oh, I think that was different, actually, from last time. Because I remember before I made like a couple different choices and shit. And I think one of them led to him being flirty towards her. Towards Isabella. Yeah. I cannot even plaster a smile on my face. A horrid scowl has taken its place. There's no way I can pretend nothing is wrong as I hum.
And I'm sure little Lily here would certainly appreciate it if you remove your pretty hands from her, darling.
He is quick to retract his hand, which is all that girl needs to, for lack of a better word, escape.
I think I need to step out for a while. I'll be back.
Her partner follows, shouting after her without hesitation. There's an awkward air among us as we left in the wake of whatever that was. The others murmur and gossip with each other, speaking of the poor daft girl and telling the tale of whoever was not audience to the act in the first place. It didn't take long. Jesus Christ, cat. BB. It didn't take too long for the woman to return and pull us aside to the study for what I rightfully assume is damage control. Rose invites Marianne in too, hoping to apologize to her as well. The woman refuses, saying she is not one of her clients anyway. They use myself, Rose, and Luke. And the last too eager to make himself comfortable in the study he has no doubt already claimed as his own.
I can't apologize enough about what just happened. Please forgive Isabella. She's been under a lot of pressure lately. She's young, and all those rumors about this being haunted just got to her head. And it must be this terrible heat, too. Not a drop of rain for days now.
Oh, it's fine. The poor girl must feel so embarrassed about what she just did. But I say, let bygones be bygones. After all, she's only a child. She looked, what, 19?
I should look at using look at these words. I love that. God. Maybe that's why it's already down, because of that decision. Jesus Christ. Hold on. I mean this. Jesus Christ. This cat is just flipping out. Did you find catnip or something? Wow. After all, he tried flirting with the girl. The nerve of him. Jesus fuck. He's scaring the Jesus out of me. My cat? What the fuck? I'm not really sure what's going on with him today. Not only that, not only that Isabel girl, but also Marianne and Rose too. What kind of husband who would think that even a remotely good idea to make moves on 3 different women while his wife stands there? Yeah, this is completely different. I don't, from what I did earlier. Did you drink while I wasn't looking?
She's a bit older than that. But again, I apologize. And if there's any way I can make up for what just happened, just...
I know what you can do. Be a darling flower and get us one of those bottles you plan to serve.
Hey, we said no wine.
Pop it open.
We said no wine.
We were planning on serving some champagne. I can get that.
That would be lovely. Much obliged.
Do you want a glass as well, Ms. Wright?
Oh no, I'm fine. I really shouldn't be drinking right now.
And Luke shouldn't be either. But right now, I'm just too tired for any sort of argument. I don't have the heart to scold him in public as well. I'm certainly not his mother. I just want to get this horrid day done with and go home and sleep. Perhaps I'll even have a strong cup before I head off to bed. Yeah, that sounds nice. When Rose comes back with the champagne, I beckon her over. As I told her partner before, I have every intent of acquiring this house. I might as well, even if I'm having second thoughts about getting it for Luke. The moment we, the Wrights, have expressed interest in this place, we had eyes set on us. If we don't buy it, that might as well signal that we have busybodies gossip about how we may or may not have lost our fortune. Regardless of the fact that it is false, image is everything when dealing with these people. There are unspoken rules for people such as ourselves. Besides, I really like the place. Why, everything here is absolutely wonderful. What the fuck? What the fuck, woman? Well, except for this ugly painting in the study. It looks like a bad fake Edvard Munch painting.
Here's the deal. I'm willing to pay 10% higher than your listing price. If anyone tries to outbid us, just add another 5%.
Son of... Alright. Let me put a pause on this real quick. I need to go figure out what did he just do. So hold on. I'll be back in just a few seconds. There we go. Okay. Alright, I got no idea what the hell's going on with those cats anymore. Either of them at this point now. So, yeah. All the one seems to want to do is just eat. That's it. The other one just flying off the rails, man.
I doubt anyone can, of course. Or, you know what? Just add 15% to the listing price, and we can sign all the paperwork now.
I guess, if that's what you want. That won't be any trouble. I don't have all the papers now. Didn't think this would be a quick sell. I'll have copies sent to you so you can look over them. And if you'd still like to finish the rest of the tour with Isabella's group, you're more than welcome to.
No, I think we're good here. We'd appreciate a private tour of the place a lot more, I think.
All right. Should I let Marianne in, then?
Marianne? Oh, right. She's been waiting outside the study this whole time, hasn't she? I need to have a little chat with her, to move the Slow Mansion project forward.
Please do.
God, this is not good background sound from the cat. Even though, like, horror shit hasn't shown up or nothing besides, like, painting. It's still gonna freak the Jesus out of me after a while. Yet, like a professional, I see the moment when she steals herself and masks her worry. Admirable.
We have this project then?
Of course. Will you be needing anything from us?
I really do think he got into catnip.
Having the floor plans would be a great start, just so that I can look at them beforehand. And if you could tell me when you're available for a meeting so that I can include it in my calendar?
Oh, is a meeting really all that necessary, Marianne? I guess we can send Johans to help you out. You two can start by getting rid of this ugly painting.
I should pause upon the room at my request.
What painting?
I just realized that that might be the first time I actually just seen his little picture. And lo and behold, the painting is gone. In its place, a mirror stands, which leaves me to look at my own confused expression.
Odd. Well, no matter. Back to the topic at hand. Marianne, dear, we are simply far too busy to meet up.
I want to be nice and free the schedule.
But I guess we can free up a day to meet with you. I don't really need another Maudlin Monday reading about Maury anyway. The book club can function without me for one day.
I don't know what Maudlin is. So,
What time
yeah.
shall we be seeing each other? How does lunch sound?
Besides, my house has a higher priority over a book club. Why, we can't hold a next meeting in this place. Surely the beauty and grandeur of it all will inspire spirited and lively debates of whether modern-day writers can match up to the classics. Might as well clear up the rest of my week to handle whatever affairs Finance Mansion requires of me. Any social activity can put an art to the Ermengarde, or rather, the Wrights Mansion can be a great debut. I ought to fill my great parties and gatherings, especially when I organize them myself.
That sounds good. Although, with a project of this scope, we might need most of the day to tackle your concerns. A more thorough inspection of the place is also preferable.
Breakfast then! It's a date.
It's really not.
All right, Monday, 10 o'clock sharp. We'll see you then.
Actually, Marianne suggests that we meet at 9. But who's even awake at that unholy hour? God, this woman. I barely even want to be awake at that time. I was lucky enough to wake up this morning before Luke went all the way to Cardiff. Let me see, hold on. Okay, hers should go up. I want everybody's relation to be good, decent, because if it's not, I might have somebody dead. And I don't want anybody to die. I mean, I know people are gonna die in the end, but people I like, I don't want to die. We say our goodbyes, shake hands, make it clear without outright saying that we now own this property. By the time we left the mansion grounds, sunset is almost upon us.
So, you really want to buy this place then?
Yes.
That's a bit of a big impulse buy, even coming from you.
Eh.
Not that I'm complaining.
Well, I'm glad you're not complaining like you usually do. It's a right and proper Christmas miracle, isn't it? Hannah has finally done something right.
I refuse to look at him. Stare at the passing scenery instead.
Hey, Buttercup, what's with this cheek?
You flirted with 3 other women.
Rose, Lily, Mint. The nerve, Luke, the nerve!
God, this stuff is new.
Is
So
that what this
excited.
is about? 1, that woman's name was Rose. And 2, you know I don't mean a word of that empty flirting.
And it's still the principle of things, Luke. I understand if you try to woo them to get what you want when it seems that I'm not looking. But I told you once before not to do it when I'm there.
Luke dealt with other women in the past to get what he wanted. Sometimes I have my doubts. I really want to believe I'm the exception, that he's not using me like how he used those other girls. I'm having a bit of a hard time believing that now. It isn't just this shameless flirting. There's something about that Marianne woman, as if Luke is familiar with her. As much as it shames me, it makes jealousy rear its ugly head. And suffice to say, ticked off.
Really? I forfeit my trip to Cardiff for this, and you're still not happy.
No.
Oh, trust me, Luke. I am very happy. Very happy that, for once, we are doing something that I want. Can you not see the smile on my face?
I love the sarcasm. It's only when I let it loose those words that the truth hits me like a slap on the face. And by the looks of it, it seems to have the same effect on my dear darling husband. It's always been Luke wants to do this and Luke wants to do that, hasn't it? I don't even remember the last trip we went on that wasn't of my choosing, without needing to get the man's approval. On the other hand, I was pulled along to every single expedition he wished to travel, and I never objected. The rest of the ride home is spent ignoring each other, pretending the other didn't exist. Arriving at our penthouse, my first order of business is to get into bed. Forget a hot bath, forget the tea, I just want to bury myself in blankets and forget everything in my slumber. Seems Luke has the same idea in mind as he tags along behind me. But this is something I would not allow for the moment I pass through the door.
Out.
Oh man, she's making us sleep on the couch.
What the bloody hell, woman? This is my bedroom too!
His voice. Luke stands flabbergasted as I deny him entry into our chambers. His pillows lie on the cold tile floors, away from the warmth of our soft down bed, and my gaze promises him the same fate if he does not budge on this matter. Wait, can she knock him?
Don't even try to argue, because I am very cross with you, Luke Wright.
Damn, I didn't actually think that that was such a minor change. Like, that was such an itty-bitty change in the storyline I did earlier when I was at the mansion with Isabella. I didn't actually expect it to fuck over all this.
You can take the second bedroom or the guest room if you wish, but I do not want to see you at all for the rest of the night.
I'll have the bedroom so he doesn't have to go to the couch then.
Johans!
Fight your own battles, man. Our butler wanders over, a curious expression on his face. He doesn't quite hurry, moving at a relaxed pace, no matter how angry his master sounded.
No, you are not allowed to sleep in my room, sir.
Oh god, I love him.
That's not what I mean! Help me talk some sense into her!
I also like how Luke's voice, every time he gets pissed off, his voice just fucking cracks. It just goes in that high-pitched squeak sound.
There is no sense in questioning her right to be angry, sir.
Hey, he agrees.
So, if I might be excused, I'll go prepare the second bedroom for you.
I have to keep my face straight as he sounds way in defeat.
Mutiny! This is mutiny! The system is being upturned, and the people are rioting, and everything is left asunder.
Isn't every day that Luke is rendered speechless by someone he considers inferior, or to yield to another authority without ulterior motive? God, Johannes is my favorite now. Or how do you pronounce it? Shit. But yeah, he's my new favorite. His pride just won't allow it. I do keep telling the man to treat his people better. He may throw whatever fit he wants, but he will not be getting his way tonight. Victorious, I celebrate by jumping face first into our bed. Undignified, yes, but nobody's here to judge me anyway. Right? What? Nobody here to tell me what to do. Yet, as I succumb to sleep, I can hear them whisper to me. I can hear them whispering. Calling for me. They want me. Need me. They drown me, pull me down, and suffocate me in their embrace until I sink into the bottom. A deep abyss waits, inviting yet foreboding. They're calling me from in there, aren't they? And I do want to help. I do. But when I try to reach out, something pulls me back, like a hook sinking itself into my stomach. Fuck! Bitch! I break through the surface with a gasp. Alone in bed and without Luke to hog the covers, I am swathed in cloth and slick with sweat. It takes me a while to untangle myself and kick them all off. I hate this woman. Like, not Hannah. Whoever the ghost fucking woman is. Both the bed and I are a right mess by the end of it all, but I'm more than eager just to get up and go out for some fresh air. I wonder how much more else has changed just from that little thing I did. Like, I knew the little butterfly effect thing, but I didn't think it would affect that much. Alright. Ah. I'm good. I'm not gonna die yet. And it sounds like the cat's finally calmed down, which is great. I don't know how long ago that was, but hopefully he didn't get anything else done. Ugh. God. The days past had gone by in a blur. We hadn't talked much, Luke and I, outside of necessity. In fact, we hardly talked beyond the topic of acquisitions of properties. Properties being a mansion, obviously. Everything has been so busy that I haven't talked to anyone outside business, and it is just so stressing. Someone can understand my need for a good chat, preferably over a good meal. There are times when any decent, emotionally healthy and socially capable person needs a good friend. Okay, I'm pretty sure I got that entire phrase right. Whatever. One who would talk to them without conversation degrading or turning into an argument. Or burying a nearby friend. I have an interior designer under the confidentiality agreement to listen to me. Close enough.
Up, higher, come on now.
The place is bustling with movers, carrying furnishings here and there, with several trunks of personal belongings taken from our penthouse. I can hear Luke barking at them in the other room, making sure nothing is handled carelessly or gets stolen.
Careful now. I know your pictures are framed by cheap plastic, but those are framed by African Blackwood and are one-of-a-kind commissioned paintings. Each one is easily worth a lifetime of what you not make.
It's hard to tune him out. The boys do not do a good job of muffling him at all. Then again, it is Luke. I would still hear him ranting, even if we were on opposite sides of the mansion, and I'm wearing earplugs.
I'd really like to thank you for inviting me to breakfast, Mrs. Wright. But I already ate, so I should really go back to work.
Nonsense! You arrived so early, you must not have gotten a proper meal. Our butler has made a surprisingly lovely bubble and squeak.
What the fuck is that? Okay, anybody, please. Everybody's gotta tell me what the fuck that is.
Sit. Sit! I'd situate us in the dining hall, but it is a mess right now. Oh, Johans!
The man in question appears, ready with a tray as he starts to set the table for us. We sit in silence as we are each served a plate. Bowl and squeak. Top of a poached egg with cherry tomatoes and other garnishes adorn the edges of the plate. I still want to know what the fuck this is. It looks good though, for an obviously drawn food, but it still looks good. I still try it. Fish tomatoes. A cup and a saucer with teapot of some Earl Grey is placed down in front of Marianne, and I ask for Orange Julius. I'm taking a whack at it. That's alcohol. God, food, drinks.
How
I
are
got
you
nothing.
liking the project?
Drop that bars and I'll have your head.
Oh my
I
God.
know it's only an 8 million yen bar.
Only?
I swear,
Well, it's certainly a fun challenge, incorporating the designs of a Jacobean manor and the functionality of a modern household. I have ideas I would like to suggest, by the way, about what to use the second bedroom for. I have been informed of your goddaughter and thought a kid-friendly room might be in
Goddaughter?
order.
Wait, we have a goddaughter?
You read my mind. I was actually going to bring that up. Oh, that would just be so lovely, Marianne. That way, Kylie can bring her friends over as well.
If I remember right, last time also she did talk about a nursery. Too. So.
And a good friend of mine, Rochelle, is expecting a baby. So, why don't we think about putting a crib in there too?
Like, not for Rochelle, of course. She was actually referring about herself. She was hoping to have a child. But at the time, they were also in a better relationship with each other, so. Yeah.
I can just imagine little ones running around, filling this place with the pitter-patter of their feet. We'd have to make sure they don't trip and fall on the stairs, though.
We won't be able to finish everything up until after the party.
Of course.
But we'll have it ready by then, so that all we need to do is to move in the furnishings.
Yes, that's plenty fine. It's not like we're in a hurry to have it. And we wouldn't want the workers to disturb the guests or the other way around, do we? Just make sure it's presentable. You know, in case a guest snoops about.
Of course. As for the kitchen you wanted, I've already negotiated for the high-end stoves and the hot and cold drawers, so on and so forth. I've got a friend who is able to customize them so that they'll look like the counters we'll be replacing and fit the rest of the interior. They'll be bringing them in today.
why can't you people do
Oh,
it
God.
right? Don't drag it. You'll scratch the wood.
Excellent. But no, really, how have you liked it so far?
Oh, it has been wonderful, believe me. Everything is going smoothly too. It has been a long time since I've worked on something on this grand a scale. Nowadays, everyone is about condos and flats, living in the city where every room is an identical box.
Ugh.
Believe
I get
me,
that,
this
though.
is
I got-
very refreshing.
I live in a city-esque area, so. Kind of all looking forward.
We lived in a condo before this, Marianne.
I didn't mean any insult.
It's fine, sweetie. Look at you, all frazzled. I was just pulling your leg. Luke wanted that penthouse when we got married, and you can thank him for purchasing this place as well.
She looks confused. Of course she has every right to be. She no doubt overheard me push the estate agent into sale, making quite the aggressive offer. She saw me sign the papers for the mansion as well. I just had to scoff.
Don't be fooled. I'm just the treasury. I wouldn't be able to make a purchase this grand without his seal of approval.
I see.
That's it. That's all you have to say.
Yes, it wouldn't be appropriate to comment further. It is unprofessional.
Unprofessional.
A little bit. I can't help but let out a deep sigh as I stick the fork in the dish. I didn't want professional. I want someone who either agree with me, even if it's for the sake of agreeing, or someone who will try to talk some sense into me. Usually responses are so boring. There's no discourse in the middle ground.
The food is good. Best bubble and squeak.
Of course it is. Our kitchen staff only uses the freshest, hand-picked ingredients. Only the best for the rights.
Mr. Wright is not joining us?
No, he is far too busy bossing people around. He even refused to join me for breakfast earlier. Hence, this.
I see. My apologies. I really don't know what sort of response you expect to get from me.
There's a cloud of silverware as I slam my hands on the table. It's frustrating. I am frustrated. At Luke mostly. But Marianne's neutral professional answers are certainly irksome as well. Just one sec. Hold on. Okay. Here we go. But, oh wait.
You're a human with feelings and opinions, aren't you? Don't give me this bollocks about being professional when we're having a nice friendly chat over a nice and friendly breakfast. I can only talk about interior designs for so long, and I detest one-sided conversations, Marianne.
But I really don't know what to say, Mrs. Wright. We were talking of no topic in particular, and...
Luke. We were talking about Luke.
About him not eating breakfast with you?
What if she just said to me doesn't really understand the problem?
About him treating me as if I were some treasury.
I didn't realize that I shouted that out loud till it's too late. There's a stunned silence that settles before I slump back to my seat. Hiding my face behind my hands, I can feel my shoulders shake. Breathe, I told myself. Calm down. But it's just so hard.
Honestly, sometimes I feel like he doesn't love me anymore. Oh, have I been so blind? Did he ever love me at all?
This is sad now.
Was our marriage all for the sake of saving his company and his wealth? Because...
Because?
Did I say all that out loud? Again? No, this is bad. Unacceptable. It has been rumored before, the real reason for our engagement, but if anyone were to know this... Marriages of necessity to carry out political and financial power used to be a common thing, but the Evan Wrights union is perfect happily ever after. It was supposed to be. It's true that we first met each other in order to discuss dealings to make the then failing Wright Enterprise a subsidiary for the Evans Incorporated. But I do remember being in love with him, and there were times when he said he loved me back. Even if I'm not sure what the truth is now. By the way, I do not want the Wright's name or the Evans name dragged through the mud because of a slip-up. I'm asking. Marianne is a good sort, isn't she? So far, she has been reasonable and accommodating, even towards Luke's ridiculous requests. Patient and professional. Did it only ever extend to business? Or should be... Would you be able to understand that things like this are not as simple, not as clean as they painted to be? Certainly I can talk to her. Ask her for...
I won't speak a word, Mrs. Wright. Not only am I contractually obliged to, it would also go against my principles.
That's nice.
This is no one else's business but your own, and it should be kept between the two of you. And whoever you wish to seek counsel from.
Please, Marianne. You have to understand. These sort of affairs, if anyone were to know this, they could just twist it and we'll be ruined. All I ask for is your silence on the matter.
If I am to be frank, Mrs. Wright, this isn't new for me. You aren't the first, and you certainly won't be the last to have complicated dealings. Unless what you're doing is illegal, I turn a blind eye.
That's nice, though. Can I trust her?
If I wasn't in the same boat, I'd be trying to pry those secrets and gossip with you about them by now.
Well, I'm keeping that information confidential as well.
It's not like I have another choice, do I?
Thank you.
You know, it's interesting. I don't think I actually had a conversation like this before either, where her and Marianne were actually able to get a better, get better between each other. Like, yeah, just be happier. I don't know how to explain that. When the doors are probably opened, Marianne and I are sitting in silence.
Madam, the photographer from Luxury Living is here.
I give him nothing but a small nod.
This was a wonderful meal, Marianne. You're free to return to your duties. I must excuse myself.
It was my pleasure. And thank you for the food as well.
Making my way downstairs, I look back to see Marianne give me a nod and a small smile. That certainly put me in a lighter spirits. The interview with Luxury Living. That's today, isn't it? Oh yes. People had caught wind of our new mansion the very moment we left the open house. Luke had boasted he could acquire the property in no time and allowed a photo shoot for an interior design magazine to be scheduled today. Well, those were complications, and it took longer than it usually does for us. Hopefully there won't be any unfortunate slip-ups with someone who isn't bound by confidentiality. Alright, real quick, hold on. Alright, so I just had to make sure it did go up, just in case. Never know. Oh, God. I probably should have just grabbed water instead of grabbing a damn Pepsi, but eh. Okay. The mansion grounds has been one of the first things to be fixed up, aside from the bedroom. Although it's still a work in progress, it had a promising start, and I can already see the flower patches. Luke favors daffodils stand out easily, having been transplanted from the deposits that used to live at the rooftops of our penthouse. Why, if the moving crew thought that Luke was being hard on them, they clearly didn't see the landscape on his way out. Poor dude. The man looked like he was ready to faint, and Luke seemed ready to kill him by the end of their discussion. Really, poor dude. Oh right, I forgot that he did Luxury Living. It's in the gardens that I see him standing near the flowers in quiet admiration. He's hard to miss, the hulk of a man that clearly did not belong, and the big backpack and suitcase he has with him makes him look much larger. It's a peculiar sight seeing someone who looks like he does handling little delicate things with such care. You got a point. It's just always interesting, like seeing like people who are like huge, just being so good at like dealing with like small things, and you got a little itty bitty person who can fucking just deadlift you, right then and there. I don't know. I just find that really interesting. I can't do that. I can't even do either or, honestly. I'm not very good with like small delicate things or anything like that either. He looks up from the gardens and does a double take before a friendly face replaces its serene expression.
Miss Wright, yeah? Hi, Zachary Steele here from Luxury Living, ma'am. Hope you weren't waiting too long. But it looks like you're still moving in, huh? Thought for a second there my calendar was wrong and I came here too early.
The one and only. Welcome, welcome to Maison de Right. And yes, we've been in the process of moving in as we were delayed, but it won't be a problem. They're just adding a few things here and there, and you should still be able to do your work. Where's the rest of your crew then, Mr. Steele?
Zach is fine, please. Mr. Steele makes me feel like I'm a mascot for a cleaning product.
Oh god.
Anyway, I'll be your one-man crew for
Mr.
today.
Clean.
Don't worry, been doing this gig for a while now.
You must be quite the veteran to handle this on your own. We've had a full crew coming into our penthouse the last time we were covered in your magazine.
Veteran? Oh, your words are too kind, Miss Wright.
Hannah, if I get to call you Zach, you have my permission to call me Hannah.
Alrighty then.
I love Zach.
Anyway, I'm no veteran, but I know my camera well enough to make sure this is a good shoot. You can trust me on that, Miss Wright. Hannah.
Zachary proves quickly enough that I can, in fact, trust him. His skills with the camera and experience in this industry, at the very least. He's kind and courteous, listening and following, as I lead him around the house. A really nice fellow, and he treats our household staff well, whenever we cross paths with them. I can answer his questions to the best of my ability, and he's patient enough to answer mine whenever I get curious enough. For one, I ask what the bags are for. They're quite the magician's toolkit. From his side, he prepared several items to embellish the interior with. Bowls of fruit, lemons, trays with pepper mills, stacks of cookbooks, cutting boards, and glass canisters filled with colorful nuts and grains are brought for the kitchen setting. For the bathroom, there are white towels, seashells, and decorative soaps. There are other things as well, 2 rooms to count, all in that large bag and suitcase.
Tricks of the trade. Softens up a room, makes a place feel more homey, and fills it up with texture.
That's an interesting trick.
But you guys probably have better stuff I can use for this.
No lights. Don't tell me all of these are just props.
Well, I've got my tripod here. For things like these, natural light is best. I'll just have to set the shutter speed to a real slow setting, and as long as nobody steps into the shot, it'll look great.
Oh, it better.
We go through the rooms one at a time, although we first tackle the ones that movers have no business in anymore. Ooh. This one's pretty. I like it. The ballroom needs a little preparation with its grand design. Although there's some trouble at first, the wide open space and the pictures being backlit. It's a kitchen that Zachary's props come in handy, considering how Johann keeps the place so neat and sterile. We could practically eat off the floor. We carry on touring the house and taking pictures where we can, with the exception of the rooms that have yet to gain any purpose or design. Too bad I can't take a sneak peek at his photos yet. Funny enough, he's using traditional camera. I didn't even know film still existed. With the way he speaks, however, I can see that he knows about his craft. That I'm not too worried about botched photographs. I imagine photography must be cathartic for him, judging by how at ease he looks while taking pictures. There are small snippets of conversation between the clicking of camera. He even goes far as to talk about the terminologies like shutter speed and aperture when I ask about the technical aspects. I can't see the pictures that it's made, much like when I watch artists paint on the canvas. But just watching someone passionately practicing their craft such as this is exciting in its own way. Going through the many rooms has been quite the exercise for both of us. Despite that, he's been so nice, and I find myself putting my best smile. But it's as we're taking a picture in the foyer that everything comes to a standstill for a moment. Just a moment. And had I not been paying attention, I wouldn't have noticed. It's merely a split second that Zachary's rhythm is put to a halt. The fuck, woman! His finger doesn't move to release the shutter. Yet he also doesn't pull the camera away from his face. His gaze still firmly fixed through the viewfinder. His hands shake and there's a light sheen of sweat on his forehead.
Zachary?
No response.
Zach, is something the matter?
Lowering his camera, he blinks and stares at me behind me before shaking his head. Turning around, though, I see nothing that could have gotten his attention.
Oh no, there's nothing wrong. I just remembered something that's all. Let's get back to the pictures. Can you move a bit more to the left, yeah?
I struggle to respond this time. There's a sudden weight on my back and an indescribable tightness around my throat. Why did you freaking choke? Why are you doing this, woman? Everything stops. And everything starts again as I manage to choke out.
If you're sure.
I don't know what just happened. It was probably just a dizzy spell. I'm fine. And he said he's fine. We continue the same pace as before, although there's an unspoken agreement that we do not talk about what just happened.
So, is this a full-time job for you then?
Nah, I just freelance mostly, for magazines, newspapers, and events. So you can't really call it a full-time job. It's fun and it puts food on the table, but it's not what I really want to do.
He's good enough, though, that he can, like, still support himself, which is great.
At least, not all the time.
What is it that you want to do then?
Maybe I've been out of line, stick my nose in other people's business, but I can't help but ask. I regret doing so, seeing his shoulders slump, and the easygoing air he has fades away. Luke's torn about what he wants to talk about, whether he wants to talk about it or not.
Films. Documentaries, mostly. But cinematography is a lot more difficult than photography, right? I was working on this thing, actually.
What thing?
Well, it wasn't really a big thing. People didn't like Blue Fonzie very much.
People don't like a film about colors. I suppose they would have liked Blue Bibby a lot more.
Very funny.
So, Grand Director, do you want to tell me what Blue Fonzie is all about?
He hesitates. But when I refuse to budge on the matter, he gives in and spills it out. Blue Fonzie, les la plus sombre des noirs britanniques. Okay, I know a couple of those words. Like, I don't know what sombre is, but something along the lines of the black British. Oh, I was right. Darkest, okay. Dark blue, the darkest hour of the black British. He speaks the passion of one who has gone through the very matter he is concerned with. There is conviction, knowledge, and experience in his speech. Why, I would have told him that he's an amazing speaker if I wasn't so engrossed in listening. Prejudice and discrimination, in schools and in the workplace. Lesser chances for opportunity and higher chances of being treated like a criminal. He spoke of blacks and people of color in general as still being treated like second-class citizens. All because of the color of their skin. It's just positively riveting. And sad. It goes to a point wherein he soon loses steam. He looks abashed, realizing what he had just done.
Sorry, I just got so carried away and...
It's fine. It is really so fascinating to watch people talk about their passion after all. You should see how your eyes light up when you speak so fiercely. You do have very beautiful eyes.
Uh-huh. Thanks, I guess.
I'll just say that I understand where he's coming from. But I really don't, do I? I was born with a silver spoon in my mouth, and I lived a charmed life. I wasn't perfect, but the difficulties I've been through pales in comparison to what others experience on a daily basis. I certainly don't know how I would have fared if it were any different. Would I have still met Luke, and would he have still loved me if I were any lesser?
What was your home like? These things you talk about, it sounds like you've... Well, I don't mean to pry, I mean.
Live with my older sister and my grandparents. We had a shop selling all sorts of things below our flat. And well, I was one of the few non-white, non-British students in class. I didn't get pushed around or anything straight up. Even then, I was one of the biggest kids around. But a pencil and notebook would go missing, you know?
Oh, that I knew. It shouldn't be so cruel at times. Of course, it may be slightly different when you have personal guards and the stolen items is not a pencil, but an expensive heirloom.
So what about you? How you liking your new house? It's pretty impressive.
It's nice, I suppose.
You suppose? Not big enough?
What? No, oh, don't be a bully. It's just that.
I understand if you don't want to talk about it.
I was a little girl, all dolled up and treated like a fragile porcelain, with nursemaids waiting to me hand and foot. All the material possessions anyone could ever want, I could ask for them on a whim. It would be handed to me just like that. But I barely saw my parents. Just goodbye kisses in the morning before they went off to who knows where they were needed next. I saw them more often on the telly or in the paper than I ever did in person.
I remember my old house. It was a lot like this one. Big walls and big halls, but nobody in it. Not really. It makes you think how alone you are.
A pensive mood overcomes us. And then there's a moment where neither of us are sure how to go from there. Things have gotten a bit too personal, yet it isn't wholly uncomfortable, like as if we've been friends before.
Well, that's normal, ain't it? You just moved here. You'll make home out of it yet.
He certainly makes it easy to believe that. My childhood house is indeed a lot like this one. Just as large and extravagant, and just as empty. I hope he's right.
So, Monsieur le Photographe, you've covered the one and only Ermengarde Mansion. What's next on the agenda?
The interview?
Boring. It's an interior design and housing magazine.
And they want to know what Miss Wright has to say about her interior design and house.
Honor Wright thinks she bought a magnificent house that she can certainly brag about. Blah, blah. Boring. You know what they should print more of? I watched an interesting documentary the other day. Bleu Foncé, the darkest hours of the Black British. I recommend you watch it. Those are the things that people should know about. What do they care if I use a purple or green bowl of fruit in my kitchen?
Well, she has a fair point.
People, right?
Oui. People are shite.
True that.
What do you think? Do I look good with this angle?
Ezra composed while he's busy, looking taken aback for a moment, probably not expecting me to go and just say such a crass word. But he recovers quickly, and after snapping a few photos, he grins.
Pierre, vous êtes belle.
That's so sweet.
You want copies of these ones?
Yes, please. So, the big boy knows French. You must have wooed a few ladies. Unless you're into gents. Either way, French is, after all, the language of romance.
Oh, I don't know about quoting fancy poetry. But I've made lunch for a girl before, and they did like that fancy French cuisine.
I'm trying to bet he's talking about Isabella.
Can you cook your best?
I can cook just about anything as long as I know the recipe.
C'est magnifique.
It's been a bit too long since I had a nice and proper chat with a good friend. No, Lee is certainly not a good friend. Although we've just met, Zachary is a sort who can probably befriend anyone. He's just a comfortable person to be around. A bit too comfortable. The photo shoot went by in a breeze. And somewhere along the way, as we talked and laughed, I found myself a bit too close without realizing. He'll give me this strange look until I back off, and he'll go back to asking questions after I agree to do his little interview. It's just odd. Well, no. Me being friendly isn't that odd. That's just how I am. Zachary is the one that's being odd. Why would anyone else would be absolutely welcome the attention I give him? He, on the other hand, looks almost flustered about it. He's been used to different personalities by now, having to deal with various people when he works. And if not, he needs to start. Perhaps nobody has shown him attention of this kind, but he's a big boy. He should be able to handle me. All it is friendly touch here or there, a pretty smile there, and a gentle sway of hips as they move around. Zachary grew and grew more red every time he noticed. Am I being mean as I find enjoyment in seeing him unravel? Perhaps. This went on during the interview and beyond that. There's nothing wrong with what we're doing, right? Zachary and I are just having a playful, friendly chat while enjoying the outside view. At least that's how I see it.
I'm sorry, but I'm really getting distracted. Could you maybe stop doing that?
Stop? I do wonder what would happen if I continue teasing him, but I want to be nice and just stop because, yeah.
I'll stop if it makes you uncomfortable, sweetie.
Sorry.
No, I should be the one apologizing. Why, you're a shy one, aren't you, big guy?
It's not that, but...
Just wishes to bring up my finger and lets the fact of the matter hang heavily between us. Being told implicitly that I'm too forward is not a common occurrence. I think I'm more stunned about the fact that he pointed it out rather than being rejected. Not that anything is going to happen between us in the first place. It was just going to be some harmless flirting, right?
So, you've never had a girlfriend?
No. No boyfriend either. Just in case you were gonna ask for that one next.
And you haven't even had your first kiss?
Not a one, ma'am.
Why? You're like the greatest guy. Why does this man not had anyone? It's not fair. I mean, if he's not interested, then fine. But if he is, then that's not right for him. He's a great guy.
Do you want to have your first kiss today?
I can't help it. I really, really can't. And I'm going to apologize lots later. Surely, by the catty smile on my face, it's obvious I'm just pulling his leg. The laugh I fail to contain certainly gives it away, if it still isn't obvious. Still, he lights up in embarrassment, stammering and sputtering objections.
You're married, and this will be extremely unprofessional.
I never said I would kiss you, silly. Oh, Johannes!
No, what? No. Don't call your butler. She's Hannah.
I'm loving this one.
That would be for the better. I don't think his husband would appreciate it if I made him kiss another man. I do not think he can hear us from here either. But it is hard to think you're not taken, Zachary. Why, whoever becomes your girlfriend will be so lucky to have you. You can cook and take wonderful photographs. Wonderful meals and wonderful memories.
I can play guitar too.
Ooh. Serenades too.
You can? Oh my. Wonderful serenades
Hey!
as well then.
We agree.
Perhaps I can find a young lady who deserves a fine, strapping young gentleman like yourself.
Let's not get carried away. Besides, I gotta be going. It's getting late and I got someplace else to be.
A shame. I will be expecting you again soon, I hope. For a copy of my photographs, yes?
Of course, I'll even deliver them personally. Just, don't try to make me kiss your butler when I drop by.
As fate would have it, the very moment the words leave his mouth, Johannes comes out of the house. Judging by the slight raise of eyebrows, he heard only the tail end of the sentence.
There shall be no kissing of any butlers under this roof, Danke.
What does that mean? Hold on.
But you are not under a roof, are you, Hansi?
To my amusement, he takes a step back, safely placing him within the threshold of the foyer and under the roof of the house. And just as ever, he's quick to return with a sardonic reply.
I am now.
I like that this guy can, he doesn't have to be, like, concerned about messing around and being frank and all that jazz. With these or anything. He's like a great guy, though. Both these guys here are, like, best guys.
As I was saying, madam, it's about time for supper. Will I be needing to set an extra place at the table?
Oh, what? No, I was just leaving, actually. So, you have a good night, Hannah. And you too, Hansi.
It was nice to meet you, Zach, honey. You have a safe trip.
He nods, and the grin on his face as he says goodbyes is the sweetest I've ever seen. I linger, looking out for him with the relatively tiny bicycle, backpack safely secured around the basket by the front, and suitcase hooked up to the back. As I watch as he went down the path to Anselm Village until he is nothing more than a blip in the horizon. I can up the small smile on my face as I go inside for supper. Alright, hold on. I'm dying of thirst now. That was actually a hell of a lot more talking than what I thought it'd be. Fuck. Alright, we'll pull in here the profiles. We haven't actually checked out Hannah's yet. She's tall. Well, comparatively to me. Well, actually, I think she might be tall for general women in the first place, so not just a little above average, maybe? I'm not, though I don't know how it is over there, but whatever. But she's 31. Okay. Of Luxburg's upper class, Hannah is used to living the life of luxury. Absent parents made her crave attention, though she gained something from her private tutors and nannies instead. It was never enough, however. She studied hard in order to make her parents proud, going to business so that she could work alongside them. The challenge in her otherwise privileged life was certainly a thrill for her, at the very least. She had many suitors, dating different men and women, but it was through that work that she met Luke. It was love at first sight for her. Upon her parents' death, Luke proposed to her. That was a move that led to the merging of the Wright Enterprise and Evans Incorporated, and her subsequent retirement. Their 7-year marriage is strained, but Hannah's trying her best to make it work. Oh, fuck. Damn cat! Ah. Anyway. Entering the dining hall caused me too much confusion. It's dark. For a moment I thought the electric work is not up to par. That is clearly not the case, as every other room is bright with artificial light. Finding the light switch is a monumental task, considering the size of my unfamiliar with the room. To make matters worse, the darkness grants the room a different atmosphere, eerie and frightening. It takes longer than I had thought to find the switch, something that will have to be rectified later on. My skin starts to prickle, and there's a distinct feeling of being watched. It unsettles me, and only spurs me on my search. When I do open the lights, there's a hiss.
I'll turn the lights down, woman!
There, at the end of the hall, is my beloved husband with his face in one hand and a glass in the other. Perhaps I need to go if it's only one glass of wine. However, I feel myself go livid, seeing the toxic green liquid gleam mockingly at me.
Luke, what? Are you drinking absinthe? You know what the doctor said. Absinthe, Luke. Are you actively trying to kill yourself?
He's so damn young, though, so how much has he drank to fuck his liver up bad enough the doctors tell him to stop drinking?
Because if you are, we can just hit you with a bloody car.
Fair.
Honeybee, Buttercup, not too loud, please.
Oh, I can be loud as all I want.
Besides, it's Lelouch, not too strong. Just hair of the dog that bit me.
What?
Helps with the hangover, dearest.
You drank? When?
This morning, love. Don't be mad. I just needed a few drinks, having to deal with those simpletons. And maybe I had one too much.
To get a hangover? Maybe.
You don't see me whinging about you leaving me to handle them on my own.
I had to attend the photo shoot and interview with Luxury Living. You know that. Let's not make this about me, Luke. This is about you and your drinking problem and...
Oh, I don't know, Hana, darling. What if my drinking problem, as you like to call it, is linked to you?
Yeah, this is grade A douche and... Narcissism, maybe? No. I'm trying to think of what... I can't think of what it is. But I know he's trying to gaslight.
If we think about it that way, this discussion is about you. That was pretty mean of you, leaving me alone to do all the work like that.
I mean, pin the blame on her for your issues with drinking.
You can't use the interview as an excuse either, honey. I was informed the moment your little interview was done. So, what was it then, What were you doing?
At this rate, I'm just gonna kill the relationship with them.
I was talking with Zachary, the photographer for Luxury Living.
I am completely aware. Yeah. But what's the point of lying? I have no reason to tell lies. It's not like I'm guilty of anything. But as Luke's expression turns, he makes me feel like I am actually am to blame for something. It's a way of making me laid bare with just a look. That had really struck me when we first met years ago.
That giant Negro?
Wow.
You were having a secret meeting behind my back and it was with him?
What are you implying?
I'm implying nothing. I'm just worried. You know better than to trust those media types, Buttercup. He must have been really friendly to occupy your time like that. But all he's looking for is his next big headline.
Yeah, I don't see Zach that way.
He's a photographer for an interior design magazine.
Doesn't matter. You let one little thing slip, one wrong move, and it'll blow up in the telly in the morning. He'll go to his journalist friends to gossip and make a quick quid.
His eyes were the first thing I noticed about him. They were like nature, grass and trees. Wonderful and breathtaking. Now as I look at him, they're nothing but the shade of green as a bloody damn drink in his hand.
He was a perfect gentleman, Luke. I can't say the same for you as of recent.
Excuse me again? We're talking about you, Hana.
No. I am pretty sure we were talking about you and your drinking problem, Luke, right?
Hangover forgotten during the course of this little spat, the man jumps to his feet and sees. Looks like he's barely stopped himself from throwing the nearest thing he can find.
Oh, it is not a problem. I can stop whenever I want.
Now go for it. Stop right now.
And even if it was, I think you can very well stay out of it, as it only affects my own kidneys or liver or whatever the bloody hell that shite pollutes.
Your liver, but then your liver fucks everything else over when it dies. So,
Whatever aftermath that occurs because of your little chit-chat with the Negro affects the both of us, however.
asshole. Anyway, your liver is rotting. You get it, man? I mean, I'm talking to a character in a game, but still.
Look, Luke. Nothing will happen. You have to relax. It was just a friendly chat.
Well, now I think I'm getting jealous.
Oh my god.
Or I would be if it weren't for this damn headache.
Maybe you should drink more.
Maybe.
Supper is spent in silence, with nothing but the occasional sound of silverware. The grand feast has been served. Well, greater than usual anyway, most likely due to Luke's complaints of stress. A platter of native oysters for starters, and tranche of turbot with purple sprouting broccoli, lemons, capers, and anchovy sauce for the mains. And to finish off, black tea with golden syrup and sponge pudding with custard. Actually, it looks pretty good. But when our appetites are appeased and the plates are cleared away, Luke stands, kisses me goodnight, and leaves me to stare at my half-empty cup. Lonely in the lull of the night, I sit in a house too big, too empty, foreign and unwelcoming. Even with its warm tone and homely decor, it feels cold. There's no need for tears, however. I know I can get through this like every other obstacle I've faced before. This is a minor setback, what I hope will be a long and happy life. To remind myself that this place is for Luke and for our future children fills me with renewed vigor. Besides, it looks like somebody's having a cry already. Oh, it sounds like that lady again. The wailing is far away and muffled, yet at the same time, it shakes me to my very core as I hear it. As if the suffering is just standing right beside me. Hearing it sends chills down my spine, makes my skin prickle with goosebumps. This one is so I don't know why, but her thing is so damn riddled with like little creepiness. The other one was like, I know it was more of an introductory, but it was also, it didn't have this much freakiness. Who is that? Curiosity sinks in as I follow the sorrowful sound into the kitchen. I climb into the wine cellar hatch.
Hello? Is anybody down there?
I'm curious and concerned, but there's no way I'm going down to the dark and humid underground. I'm not as enthusiastic as Luke, who considers himself quite the connoisseur. However, I cannot bring myself to go to bed with this racket going on. If it's for the household help, they will surely need some talking. After all, this wouldn't be the first time I've gone and found one of the maids sobbing their eyes out over one thing or another. As professional as our staff are, they are still human. More often than not, it was either Johannes or I who calmed them down, who would help them figure out how to go about things. Unfortunately, I'm not high spirits right now, so I'm not wholly benevolent. I remember my choices from last time for this one, and I opened the hatch last time, so I want to see what happens if I can just call out to them this time. I knocked 3 times. Waiting for any sort of reply yields me no result, and I've already touched the floor hatch far too many times than what I like. I take a deep breath before reaching out again to whoever's inside. I learned from experience that people respond better to kindness than threats. Shouting angrily would not help in coaxing them out.
You, in the cellar, do come out. We don't want Luke waking up and finding you in there, do we? That man would go ballistic thinking someone was trying to steal his precious wine.
Still nothing.
You can have a good cry, just not in there, yes? Why don't you come out here and we can have a cuppa and you can tell me all about whatever it is you're bawling about?
With how long I'm standing here, however, I'm starting to think myself as a fool. I do not want to acknowledge the feeling I have, especially as the wailing took an eerie turn. The thought of being played with didn't sit too well with me, and I stopped myself from getting too hot-headed as I tried one more time.
Now you come out of there! That is an order from the lady of the house, do you hear me? Why, I ought to...
I freeze as a hand clamps down on my shoulder. The dread I've been feeling all this time makes itself known as I kneel, unmoving, not even daring to breathe. I can feel my heart pounding against my chest, but the touch is gone as quickly as it sees me. But it's only Johannes when I see when I look back.
Apologies, madam, for touching you like that. You were not responding to my voice, and you looked about ready to wake the whole mansion up.
I'm sorry. I was getting rather loud, wasn't I? But that crying woman in there, we must do something about her.
He grows silent for a moment and just looks concerned. At least I'd like to interpret as concern, given how stoic our head butler usually is. Rather, it must have been concern as he takes off a glove and presses his hand on the back of my forehead for his worrisome inquiry.
I beg your pardon. What crying woman? Are you feeling well, madam?
In the cellar. Can't you hear her?
Madam Hannah, no one is down there.
What?
The cellar is locked. Only Luke and I have duplicates of the keys. Nobody is down there.
I stare at him in disbelief, but when I listen once more, I hear no crying. Taking the hatch for good measure proves his words to be true. The thing won't budge unless I had a key, short of using power tools on it.
Perhaps it is time for you to go to bed, madam. You are simply tired and hearing things, a perfectly normal human experience.
Not after a couple of days. Man.
But if you are still experiencing auditory hallucinations in the morning, you are free to consult with me.
There's a cold feeling in the pit of my stomach as he helps me to my feet. What he says makes sense. And who am I to question someone who used to be a doctor? Oh, cool. I like this dude better now. Like, more than I did before. He's a doctor. And he's, well, doesn't really change much, but I'm just tired, that's all. Long day of moving, the interview, dealing with Luke, that has drained me of any proper sense.
Yes, I suppose you're right. I just need some sleep, that's all.
Of course I'm right. Go on then. Gute Nacht.
Good night, Johannes. Good night, house.
It's just fatigue. That's what I keep telling myself, although I can't ignore the strange feeling in my gut. Either there is something wrong with this house, or there's something wrong with my head. Sleep will be elusive tonight. Man. Ugh. This is a long... I always forget how, like, long these things are, you know? But Jesus fuck. Like... I don't know. This is probably one of my favorite games, though, honestly. Especially visual novel-wise. Oh, yeah. How bad did this get? Well... Okay. At least I'm in a decent relationship with everyone. How am I gonna meet Ashton, though? I gotta wonder that. Luke is already gone by the time I rise. There isn't a single hide nor hair of him to be found. And trying to call him on his mobile is a bust. It only goes straight to his voicemail. That's twice in a row he's gone on me. I'm going to disappear today of all days is every bit upsetting because of what's to come. What? The morning is once again filled with the whirlwind of activity. Fortunately, I'm much more refreshed as I took a break from my responsibilities. We have the faintest clue where Luke was yesterday. Today's going to be a busy day, although unlike Wednesday, the master of the house isn't here right now, absent once again from his duties. Hopefully we'll be back in time for the party. This is our house, after all. A grand housewarming party for the wonderful Wright Mansion. Every person of importance in Luxburn is invited, and there'll be a few guests flying in as well. Of course, there'll be people from the media, along with friends and acquaintances, who made no less important, regardless of their status in society. Mary Ann and I discussed business and last-minute touches to the house before finalizing everything. Not that there is much change from our original plans. Bar any huge additions to the property itself, the mansion is nearly 100% complete.
You have certainly exceeded expectations, Marianne. Everything looks so marvelous, and in such a short time, too.
Well, I can't take all of the credit. People have certainly been enthusiastic about the idea of working on the Wright mansion. There won't be any more problems unless Mr. Wright has any more objections about the second bedroom.
Luke and I had a small tiff about making the second bedroom a child's playroom, which I insisted is completely practical. In the end, he had to request it. I didn't give him a choice in the matter. I even bought his this wonderful wooden crib from an antique store yesterday, including some toys. Just in case anyone brings a baby, of course. Besides, we have little need for our actual guest room. We hardly have guests who spend the night. If we absolutely have to, we often choose to foot the bill for their visit at one of our hotels instead. Always at Luke's own assistance. And of course, and on the off chance that we actually let someone stay, the bedroom is opposite wing is still up to task.
Oh, no. We proceed with that room as planned. I already agreed to him having his greenhouse and his vineyard and his stables. He may as well let me have this one thing.
No, I did not agree to him having a helipad.
All right, then. Well, do we have any other concerns? Anything we need to put on our agenda before the party commences?
No, I don't think so. Not unless Luke has anything else to say.
Is he around then? It'd be best if we can note down his requests right away, considering the scope of his usual ones.
Around? No. Where is he? Who knows where? I don't.
No, he's not around.
She didn't have to point out the obvious now, did she? After 7 long years, I've already gotten used to him. I should be by now. Still not, apparently.
But don't you have a party?
I want nothing more than complain, to whine about how unfair this is. However, airing one's dirty laundry is simply taboo among high society. To do so would make you ripe target for the next dinner party chit-chat. Vultures, a lot of them, really. Or most of them, at least. There are always good ones, like Rochelle Lee. But put your trust in the wrong person, and you'll find yourself eagerly picked apart.
Yes. But Luke's just being a sweetie, you see. That friend he's visiting, he's having marital problems and he's just trying to cheer him up.
Perhaps I'm being a bit too harsh, a bit too hot-headed in divulging details. But I thought myself clever, with a plan to dress it up as gossip. Mary Ann's unraised brow makes me unsure whether she's interested or not. Though that does make things better if she has no interest, and therefore has no hidden intent to utilize what I might say to her.
They've been married for a long time, and they've hit how do they say it? A rough patch. His wife has a drinking problem and can be very neglectful. The poor thing really does his best to be a good husband.
Are we? Is she talking about, is she the husband in this case?
But it's never enough for her. Sometimes I think it's the years. Maybe it's been so long that they've lost that romantic spark. What do you think?
You were asking for my personal opinion on the matter, ma'am? Do you want me to be honest, or...
Honesty, please.
Be honest with me, Marianne. I don't need someone to sugarcoat it. I'm not some fragile thing that I'm just going to break down at the slightest thing.
I think she kind of just revealed herself on that one. She hesitates, taking a sip of her coffee while I stare at my own cup of tea. The silence stretches on, and I always believe that she would never answer my question. I suppose that I shouldn't blame her, putting her in a tight spot like this. Her hesitation is understandable, though. I love to admit it. She simply wants the whole thing to stay professional. But then she speaks.
If I'm going to be completely honest, I need to ask. This is about you and Mr. Wright, isn't it?
It's my turn to hesitate now. I really didn't expect such a straightforward question. And to get to the heart of the matter, I suppose I'm not as clever as I'd like to think. Or is it really that bad that an outsider can see our marital troubles? Surely we aren't that obvious, are we? We put up the act of perfect couple for years, although it hadn't always been an act. Mary Ann is just more keen than the average person, of course. It's a necessity to her career, and she's been working so closely with us. Yes, that's it.
Suppose it is. What would you tell me?
Then, I tell you it's none of my business. I tell you that I don't want to meddle. But, if the troubled husband with the neglectful wife asked me for my honest opinion, I'd say that he shouldn't base his happiness and his self-worth on someone else. Someone who won't even give him the time of the day.
It's good advice on that.
Maybe he should try being independent for a while. See what it's like when he isn't trying to please someone else and doing things for himself. Everyone's supposed to be their own man or woman, right? A bit of breathing room never hurt anyone. That's just my 2 pence worth, of course.
So you're saying they should divorce?
Nothing as drastic as that. If they're afraid that it might lead to just that, then maybe that is what's meant to happen in the first place. We shouldn't let our fear control our lives. But it's just a short hiatus is all. Or, couples therapy? Look, I'm really not the best person to ask about relationships. So grain of salt and all that.
Yeah, but it comes down to it was pretty good advice one way or the other. She trails off, having said her piece, and leaves nothing but the smell of coffee and Earl Grey between us. There's a calm despite the unsure nature of what's been discussed. To say her words make me start to think is an understatement. To say I'm not considering her advice is a lie. And to say that this might just be the calm before the storm is a possibility. Others have had shorter marriages, yes, but plenty have celebrated long and happy ones as well. My own parents celebrated their core anniversary before they passed away. But 7 years? 7 years isn't a whole lot in the grand scheme of things. It's not a whole lot to see what and where a relationship can bring us. And at the same time, 7 years, well, it hasn't been entirely made of unhappy years, has it? It won't last forever. It's not supposed to anyway. I just dread the thought that it might last for a very long time. I dread the thought that these little spats, these little disagreements will turn into all-out resentment. The idea that we will grow and hate each other with every fiber of being scares me. I can't even pinpoint the exact moment when our blissful unit turned sour. When he started to seek other women, lacking in auteur and motive. When did we start to cooperate only to suit our peculiar greed and attention-seeking ways? Money and success. Fame and glamour. Are those the only reasons we still stay together? There's a cough before Mary Ann clears her throat. I must have been quiet for a long time, and I move to apologize when she stands up. We both end up on our feet, unsure how to proceed. Some sort of awkward shuffling occurs before we decide whether to back down or not.
I really should handle what's left of the work.
You won't be attending the party? Oh, you really must, Marianne.
I'll try to stay and chat. Maybe grab a few bites and a drink, but I can't be around for the entirety of the event. My apologies. Busy, busy, busy.
You must stay a while. I'd love for you to meet some of my friends, and they're ever so excited to meet you. You need to say hello to the Lees, at least. If it wasn't for them, I'd never even heard of you.
We'll see. So, if I can be excused?
Certainly.
She's such a nice person, though.
You'll have to excuse me as well. I must attend to the party before any early birds arrive. Because, believe me, they will throw a fuss if things aren't ready, even when they're not supposed to be here until an hour later.
People are stupid. Let me make sure that was actually the right choice. Oh, it was. Holy shit. I think this might be one of my better relationships compared to everybody. It's kind of sad, though, that even of all my relationships, Luke was the highest base, but it's not even that high. Alright. I will be right back, though. I need to go to the bathroom. So, give me just a few minutes and I'll be right back. Right back. God. Okay. The scene outside the parlor is a great organized mess. Aside from our own household help, we hired the service of a temp agency, which provides the staff with the right enterprise and the hospitality in the hospitality sector. What the fuck? Why can't I say that word? You know, a very skilled staff cannot undertake a party of this size on their own. Waiters, busboys, hostesses, and their staff captains move about in droves, carrying crockery and serveware good for several dozen people and then some. Stressed bartenders tail after Johannes, looking like scared little children as he escorts them through the kitchen into the wine cellar. To peruse the stocks, to select what can be served at the party and what can be used for cooking.
Schnell! We have a lot to do, and I believe we did not hire snails. Snails are for the dishes.
A string quartets ready to play for the evening, tuning their instruments as they fill the air with idle chatter. Floral decor worth thousands filled vases, wreaths and baskets, while petals are scattered on the driveway front. Ooh. An ice sculpture of a reindeer is brought in carefully by a pair. It is followed by a simple cake. There's a 5-tier with white chiffon one with white chocolate mousse, fresh berries, and a light dusting of edible gold leaf. It's sad that I can pronounce pretty well, like food, especially sweets, but I can't say the word hospitality. But despite the fact that I told Marianne how I will attend to all this, I found myself unable to focus or care for any of it. I still have a discussion running in my mind, and looking at all this, I only see Luke everywhere. These are the grand things that Luke wanted to have for the party. I wanted a small, elegant, simple gathering, with only a select few invited, and the people I would actually trust to enter my home. I did not want any bloody politicians or paparazzi here, no matter how used to it I am catering to them.
At least be here for your party. Damn it, Luke.
The entire thing screamed Luke Wright, and I can't help but add another question to my growing list of queries. When did I lose myself? It's always about him nowadays, isn't it? What about Hannah Wright? What about Hannah Evans? I used to be my own woman who made her own name, her own career, and her own decisions. Sure, I was a social butterfly that I still am today, but it wasn't all empty, shallow gossip and sitting pretty. I was also lauded for my knowledge and talent. Finance manager wasn't just handed to me because my father owned the company. I had insisted that I start at the bottom so I could work my way to the top and prove myself. And I did. I worked numbers, managed budgets, money and accounts, analyzing the competition and market trends. There were calculations of financial risk, cost reductions, opportunities, auditor liaisons, public relations, supervisors of staff, and, well, I generally had a slew of responsibilities. Admittedly, I was already quite the attention seeker even back then, having dedicated most of my youth to craving my parents' approval. Failing that, I turned to others, looking for praise from anyone who would give it, however fleeting it was. And Luke, oh Luke, the way he looked at me, the way he watched me, took a genuine interest. He had me disgustingly obsessed since day one, hasn't he? He saw me for me, Hannah Evans, with both my faults and my achievements. The man didn't treat me like some damsel in distress or some prize to be won. I remember the nights before we were married where we talked about everything and anything. From big things like business, society, and philosophy, to little things such as what we have for breakfast, whether they like cats or dogs more. We both prefer dogs. Nowadays, I'm just Luke Wright's wife. It's mostly my fault, isn't it? No, it's not! They told me that husbands prefer wives who are docile and subordinate. A woman who will always be there for him, yet never outshine him in all aspects except beauty. A wife needs to be at home and attend to his needs, to have children to take care of, and take care of them in his absence. They said that no business is working anymore after I was married. I can blame society, but I listened. Before I can fall further into this introspective pit of self-loathing, someone calls my name. God, I feel so bad for this woman.
The guests have arrived, madam.
And Luke?
Running a bit late, I'm afraid.
Late for his own party. That man, I swear. He's probably looking to make a dramatic entrance, knowing him.
Probably.
Open the doors then. We mustn't tarry.
Cars line up the driveway, peppering the front of the mansion with vehicles of every kind. Grand Tours, Grand Tours, supercars, and even the odd high-end muscle car were to convertibles, grand saloons, and other luxury cars can be seen being parked by the valets. A handful of cabs drive off, possibly those who thought it would be too troublesome to bring their own cars. There are at least 2 different media vans here as well. They're all here for what may be considered the biggest event of the year for Luxborn so far. Who knows what we may be planning for the winter holidays?
Welcome, welcome everyone. Please make yourselves at home.
Some of the guests idle, enjoying the warm, if not strange sunshine we are experiencing before gloomy skies inevitably return. They greet acquaintances and friends with warm smiles, others less so. From where I stand, I can see a hierarchy of power that binds these individuals here, whether through convenience or necessity. However, there are a few who are not here to further cement their current place in high society. Such as a young... The fuck? Why is Ash here? Ignorant of the looks he receives from men and women alike.
Be careful with Shirley, alright?
Oh yeah, Rose is here too. Okay. Without not Rose. Rebecca. This is Rebecca. With a rose-haired woman talking on her phone while she looks unsure why she's here exactly.
Yes, I'm at the party already, Mom. Yes, I'll say hi to her if I can.
I see Zachary, the photographer, as well. She talks to a few of the other media crew with an air of familiarity.
I was just here a few days ago, yeah. And the inside is huge, but the staff are pretty helpful if you get lost.
I invited Father Norman, too. It's the least I can do to bless the mansion on my quest. Aside from my small donation to the church, of course. But the poor man had taken ill and went through a nervous breakdown of some sort the other day. Ugh. Then there are people like the Chief Inspector. People who I can never be too sure about. People who stand on the border between being suspicious and being trustworthy.
Thank you for the invite, Anna. Husband still missing, I see?
I should be saying the same of your darling Rochelle, Lee. The doctors again?
She told me she'll just be in the gardens. Bet she's lying and that she's somewhere around mingling, gossiping with the other ladies. It's no offense, but that seems to be all you ladies do at these parties.
And aren't you gossiping right now?
Yes, well, what about Luke?
Don't want to admit it.
Should we file a missing persons report now, or do you want to wait 24 hours?
He's around.
You know, I can tell if someone's bluffing. Don't tell me, let me guess. He's finally drunken himself to death and not wanting a scandal. You've hidden his body.
This guy's an asshole.
I was wanting to give this housewarming gift to him personally, too. It's a plate that holds a wine glass so he can stop killing himself with liquid lunches. Looks like it's too late for that.
Nothing like that. Besides, this is a hardly polite conversation.
Oh, relax. I'm just trying to be cheeky to lighten the mood. It's not like I want Luke dead. The man doesn't serve dodgy plonk like the others when I visit, and he pays his respects well enough. I could use a glass of wine or 3, actually. Rochelle's been in a horrid mood. Threw her stilettos at me the other day and almost took an eye out. Not sure if this is how it usually goes, but I blame the pregnancy.
No, you're a bit of an asshole still, so... might be both.
I wouldn't know, would I?
Still no plans for a baby? Well, I guess that's for the best. If it's this bad now, I can't even imagine how bad it'll be when that little baby bump becomes huge.
Imagine how I don't trust him, no matter how hard I try to do so. At least brought a gift, I suppose.
Why don't you just go inside and have some wine, Lee?
Think I will, thanks.
And if that's not a dismissal, I don't know what is. Whether we have a short conversation or merely shake hands and nod heads, I make sure to attend and welcome each of them. As the first hour passes us by, the rest of the stragglers and I adjourn to the ballroom. Any latecomers will have the attention of the porter instead. I have other duties to attend to now. Jesus Christ. I'm just getting unbearably thirsty now, man. Hasn't happened in a good while. But whatever. It's not like I'm not used to it, you know. But okay. Oh. Alright, hosting the party is the same old song and dance, no matter how big or small it is. You make sure your guests are well fed, have good company, and generally enjoy themselves. So when my opening remarks are done, when the bands have started to play, and the guests have started eating, I find myself wandering aimlessly unless I'm pulled aside. For a while, I stand with a small group and entertain them before excusing myself. When they are not anymore watching me, I end up watching them. When they don't listen, I do. Local banker is having trouble with his daughter. He wishes to marry her off, but she wants nothing more than make music. One of our hotel managers worried about the stolen belongings of one of his patrons, a failing security which should be brought up to higher authority soon. His cat died. Then there's that road hares woman once again. It's hard not to notice her with her distinctive locks. She also lacks the general grace that the ladies have, though it doesn't make her any less beautiful. Her stance and air she exudes, instead, are strong, and they make her stand out, despite her casual attire. Many men have already given her their attention, though each invitation to dance has been turned down. I approach, intrigued, although it is no great mystery what occupies her own attention, glances she keeps sending towards the boy with the oriental hair. She remains unaware, though, as I stand beside her, pretending that I am here for a drink.
You would catch his eye a lot better if you wore nicer clothes, don't you think?
Didn't realize the housewarming was going to be this fancy. I would have gone with a nice dress if I knew.
Oh, you're fine, dearie. It's only really the parvenus, those who climb, that come to these parties all dolled up. Quite the black-haired beauty, isn't he?
The boy comes over, but I do nothing to speak any softer. And then he runs away. He really passes by, and it's a wonder he doesn't hear what I say.
Who, Ash?
You know, you really shouldn't have turned down those offers. If I wasn't married, I'd happily go dancing with those young men. But you said a name. Ash. That's the exquisite lad you've been looking at all this time. I don't know him, and I'm the one hosting this party. That must mean you know each other. Is he your boyfriend, then? Because that would explain those rejections.
In all my life, I've never seen a face grow red so fast. The shade of her hair did not help as well. This is the most pink I've seen on a person, really.
What? No, that's ridiculous. He isn't my boyfriend.
Such a violent reaction. A simple no would have sufficed. Many here would be happy to hear it.
And I haven't been looking at him.
Really?
That's right. You've been staring. Quite heatedly, in fact. Although I'm not sure if you look like you want to kiss him or kill him.
It's more the latter, currently.
Just don't go murdering him on my property. I don't want to walk into a room and suddenly find a body there.
I waver as I feel burning of someone's stares. It's chilling feeling. It's chilling, and though I am used to enduring the gaze of others, this one makes the hairs on the back of my neck stand up. Bitch is back. It's chilling, and though I am used to enduring the gaze of others, this one makes the hairs on the back of my neck stand up. My attention is pulled from the girl, and I see a woman staring. Dark-haired and dirty. She looks more like a beggar than a guest. And I've had the mind to call security when her mouth breaks out in a grin. All I hear is her laughing. Daunting. Her stare makes my blood run cold. She looks at me like I'm nothing but a pig slaughtered for her amusement. Makes my hand shake and I nearly drop my glass. But then, in a blink, she's gone. The buzz of the party returns.
I'll keep that in mind, but are you all right?
Yes, sorry. I just thought I saw something strange. It must be the trick of the light. Anyway, on a right, as you must already know.
Rebecca Gales.
Gales.
The name is familiar, like a fond memory. I recall a lady, a private tutor, treated me like her own daughter when I was young. She didn't bring me food when there was no need to do so. Usually stogies, which I honestly hadn't been too keen about, though I ate them nonetheless because she brought them for me.
Oh, the professor! And your little Becky!
My parents couldn't make it since they're in Scotland right now. And Mom says hi, by the way. But yeah, that's me. Little Becky. We met once before.
Yes, oh, I remember you! You were the cutest little thing with glasses!
I forgot they knew each other. They're so cute now.
And when we met, you were having boy troubles with this lad called something with an A. What was it again? Aaron, Alan, Adele, Albert, Alexander, Andrew?
The more they swap names, the more red and more quiet Becky gets. She starts to look a bit miserable as her body language shows discomfort and stiffness. Perhaps I've triggered a horrid childhood memory. Surely I hadn't been mean when she visited with her mother. I don't quite remember all of it.
Ashton! Ash! That man is that boy! Same one.
She's had a crush on him since they were kids. Oh, fuck. Poor Becca.
Goodness me, after all these years! I can see why, though. He's quite dashing.
You don't really need to announce it to everyone with an earshot, you know? Keep it down.
I'm so sorry, but it really is cute.
And a tad bit sad.
This is a nice party, Miss Wright.
Please, Anna's fine. We're friends of a sort, aren't we? We must be friends, seeing as I know about your little infatuation, Becky. Don't you worry, dearie. You'll have your happy ending yet.
I'm not too concerned about that, am I? That's not what I'm looking for.
Oh? And what makes you think that? Doesn't everybody want their happy ending?
The idea of happy endings sounds like they're just for fairy tales. And they are, sorta. I don't think you can just sit around, trapped in some tower and hope for the best.
It's a good point.
If you love them, you have to fight for it, right? You're not just going to sit there and hope that everything will just fix itself on its own. Like everything, you have to work at it. But what do I know?
There's a grimace, although she starts to relax around her presence. How long has it been since we met as children? Certainly a long time. She was tiny back then, if I recall correctly.
I'm sure the daughter of the two greatest professors I've ever known is smart enough to know what she's talking about. But have you told him how you feel? And it's been what? 20 years?
17, actually.
Oh my god. Wait, since you were the little, yeah? Because she can't be much older than Isabella. And she was, I think, 24, give or take.
But no, not yet. He can be a bit dense.
He's an idiot. He's one of those, like, extremely smart idiots.
I was hoping that maybe he'd notice on his own and...
Well, that won't do. What if you two become husband and wife? He's not to be dense when he's sworn himself to another person. Why, you might just as well consider leaving before the day's even begun.
If that happens, I'll have to give him a good ear bashing, won't I? Whoever anyone ends up with, it's not going to be a perfect relationship anyway. There's going to be things you'll love and things you'll hate about the other person. We're just humans. It's funny. Here I am, trying to give you advice when you did the very same thing back then. I remember you giving me a makeover when we were still kids. And you were the first I told anyone about my crush.
I do remember that now that she mentions it. Did I give her that yellow summer dress or the pink blouse and petticoat? She must have kept some of what I said in mind. It was ridiculous remembering all that years later. Talking about boys and how they go crazy for pretty girls. As if it's some gospel every woman should adhere to. It was so easy to say such things then, with me not knowing any better. Though, looking at her now, she must have kept some of what I said in mind. Perhaps I did say something good at the time, enough to take to heart? But all that didn't matter in the moment, as I mull over what she said in my head. What Becky told me is different from Marianne told me. There's no time to ponder that, however, as a hush descends upon the once lively crowd. The music of the strings and clatter slows to a grinding halt as the door to the foyer opens. The last of the latecomers should have arrived moments ago. And everyone else this late simply would be too embarrassed to show their faces. There's going to be one person, or rather, one man. There's only one man who is audacious enough to arrive at his party so late.
Good evening, ladies and gents. Enjoying the party? I hope I'm not too late in welcoming you all to the right mansion.
Unlike I, who was raised in the spotlight and simply grew used to his presence, he sought it out, like every chance he could, even when there was no spotlight that shone. And I never put it against him. When he smiles like that, he did so quite brilliantly under the scrutiny when he channels his showmanship. You can tell by the way people's eyes light up as he speaks. How they listen, enraptured, even if all he's doing is simple greeting. A little wave of his hands here, a little smile there, a little bit of swagger. I always tell him that if he's not to be a businessman, he would do well as an entertainer. I love the sight of him, especially when he looks at me, and he becks me over to humbly share his place. Not a single second is wasted as I excuse myself from Becky's side to make my way to Luke's.
Welcome one and all to our humble abode. Tonight, if you have yet to find yourself in your roles, you are our ladies and lords of the court of your king and queen. If you would excuse my presumptuousness.
That laugh, oh my god.
So, enjoy the feast that has been laid out for your senses as we only allowed the best to be served. Enjoy the rest of your night, everyone.
It's a round of applause, cheers, and even some hoots. Guests approach us left and right to shake Luke's hand and greet him personally, praises on their lips. It's because of that I do not see her. I didn't see her until she is dangerously close, with fury in her eyes, and she's already spitting venom. Johannes restrains her, taking care to not unnecessarily harm the pregnant woman. But as little to deter her rage, the man has no choice but to let her go, lest the unborn child is hurt. Although it might be too late for that, as I see an empty glass of wine in her hand. How much has she invited in?
Are you feeling ill, Rochelle? Perhaps you need to sit down and...
No! Shut it, you munter! I ain't talking to you! I'm talking to this scumbag over here! You bloody bastard standing there with your smarmy smile!
She interrupts me, jabbing her finger in my direction before she rounds on Luke. Even as whispers and murmurs break out among the guests, all I can do is focus on the heat of the moment. Obviously intoxicated, judging by the smell of alcohol in her breath. I'm not ticked off about this display of hers, at least not yet. But I am absolutely pissed at the fact that she would endanger her own baby by drinking. There's a considerable amount of restraint and grace I must exercise while I wait for her tantrum to subside. I keep patient, a tight smile on my face. Luke's expression on the other hand is indecipherable.
Watch your tongue! You're on thin ice, Rochelle. Where's your husband? Who even invited you?
I did.
And I told you with great emphasis not to. Now we have a drunk, hormonal, pregnant woman causing a stir. What is even going on?
I'm just about to ask the same thing.
I don't know. But Rochelle, do calm down before you hurt yourself. I can't understand a word you're saying.
Where is that husband of yours? Lee! Collect your wife right now!
Don't you fucking talk like I'm not here and you're not responsible, you ass! You told me that I should wait for you in the gardens.
Excuse me. What is this nonsense you're going on about?
Crazy talk. That's all it is. Just completely and utterly mad. Has anyone seen the chief inspector?
I am pregnant with your little bastard. You promised me you'll take responsibility.
Oh, right.
God damn it, Luke. I finally got you to talk to me after months of silence, and you do this to me.
Right. This is... What?
What do you mean you're pregnant with? Luke, is this true?
Lies and slander, woman! Security! Johans, take her out of here before she makes an even bigger fool of herself!
No, you do not do this to me. I was so ready to leave my stupid oaf of a husband. I told you to leave that damn wife of yours.
Oh my god.
Look at her. Does she look like she wants a baby? Does she look like she could take care of a baby?
Clearly you can't. It's now that Johans returns with security, along with a concerned-looking Officer Lee. They surround her and move to escort the hysterical woman. Judging by his pale face, you hear the whole thing, and I feel nothing but pity for the man.
I'm so sorry for her behavior. She's been under a lot of stress. And the alcohol. Talking nonsense, that's all it is. You're not allowed to drink because of the baby, Shelley. What are you thinking?
Nothing to see here, people. Move along.
Is there really nothing here but ramblings of a drunk? Yes, that's right. There's no way Rochelle says this is the truth. What she says doesn't match up. I know Luke. If such a scandalous meeting were to be arranged, he wouldn't do it in such an exposed place, especially not near his precious flowers. And he definitely wouldn't promise responsibility of a child, unless it can't be helped. Besides, Luke would never... You'd never go so far as sleep with another woman, right? Okay, fine. Who am I kidding? If I'm to be completely honest with himself, he might cheat. With a bit of temptation and a bit of alcohol, he just might. And doesn't that just make my blood boil? Do you even think about the slight possibility of infidelity? Lee isn't too far off when he told me how Luke still acted like some young hotshot bachelor. Oh shit! This is new. This is new. I don't know what to do. Fuck. Perhaps a break is needed. I need to work my happy ending. Fuck! I didn't. So I guess that's the result of having it down below, maybe? Oh, fuck. Me personally, I'd say a break, but okay, yeah, break. Ooh, I need to see what happens. Wow, that killed it. Oh, fuck. Oh, this is bad, man. Maybe Marianne had a point. If I am frustrated, if I end unhappy, maybe a break is needed. Some time apart might just be what the doctor ordered. Time apart to clear our heads, to think for ourselves, or for myself to be exact. Because looking at this mess before me just brings me nothing but distress. I feel a bit nauseous, actually, now that I think about it. Luke's too busy making a scene to notice, and concerned Becky pulls me to the side. She looks as disturbed as I am by the sudden turn of events. Probably not a big fan of drama. Definitely not used to it at any rate. Not surprising, as her parents were lovely yet simple people.
Hey, I figured you could use the save. You looked like you weren't doing too hot back there. Do we need to call a doctor or something?
Oh no, I'll just be needing some fresh air, that's all. Some help getting out of here would be much appreciated.
God, this sucks so bad.
Sure, that won't be a problem. I wanted to get away from this drama too anyway. Just... Hey, Zachary! Hey, Zach!
At the mention of his name, I can't help but seek him out in the crowd as he makes his way over. They know each other?
Becca, this is a real oh, hey, Miss Wright.
If I'm to assign a random number to dictate the odds of having two of my acquaintances know each other, I'll say the odds are 1 out of 1,000. And if this isn't any other situation, I'd have been suspicious. It isn't completely impossible to have two random strangers who met on separate occasions to know each other. And what will be completely random happenstance? It's just that it's been faked before, to try and dupe me because of who I am, and who I'm married to. But right now, coincident or not, I'm grateful for the help. As long as this doesn't turn out to be kidnapping anyway.
Hello, Zachary. I told you to call me Hannah. Did I not?
Yeah, you did. So, this is what you called me for. We gonna get Hannah out of here?
I can sense that they're friends. Not terribly close ones, but friends nonetheless.
That'd be great.
They made quick work of getting us through the crowd. People started to part because of Zachary's broad build, even if they want to approach me. If that isn't enough, Becky's pointed glares to keep them at bay. Oh, God, I love her. This shit is all new. I don't know what the fuck's going on, so I'm super excited now. We would make it out of the ballroom without any untoward incidents. Though judging by the commotion in the other room, the same cannot be said about the unexpected eviction. I really do need fresh air. I need to be away from those nosy Parkers. I need to be from Luke. This is as good a start as any.
Hey, I gotta go back in there. Completely forgot my bag like an airhead, and I'll see if I can tag Ash on the way out. You'll be fine here, right, Hannah?
Not to worry, dearie. I'll just be right here.
Zach will be with you if you need anything.
Becky balks at the idea of going back in the ballroom. Anyone who hasn't yet would have realized I'm gone by now. And those busybodies will be gossiping about how I left the building with two unknowns. Along with what transpired, stories both inaccurate and made up will spread by the night's end. It all matters very little in the grand scheme of things, of course. I won't even bother to try and quell them by returning to the fray. That leaves me with...
Zachary?
Yeah, you need something?
I was only going to say how nice it is to see you again.
Oh, okay.
I can sense the tension in the lines of his shoulders. Odd how awkward he is, when this isn't our first meeting. We have been professional terms, certainly, but I think it was friendly. Nonetheless, I do not push the issue about the apparent discomfort when we are left alone. Not right away, at any rate. I know my curiosity will get better with me soon. Before I can say anything, however, he speaks up.
You okay there, Hannah? I mean, of course you're not okay after what happened in there. I mean, that was terrible. But you're not gonna just fall down and faint or anything, right?
I'm fine. Thank you for your concern.
Even in her little picture there, she looks faint as, like, white as fuck, and I don't know if that's just, like, me being stupid and not realizing how pale she actually is. Or if that's just, like, a coloration thing that they did. A beat.
I should be asking you the same thing. I remember you being a lot more eloquent.
Oh, yeah. I'm just not too good with staying too long in a crowded room. Or handling intense drama, you know. Sorry about my clothes. Didn't think there'd be a dress code. Not that I have anything that nice to wear to a shindig like this. I dig nice, small, simple parties, so this is a real doozy for me.
I get that one.
And do you host your own nice, small, and simple parties often?
Only when there's occasion, birthdays and stuff. Those are a lot more fun for me, and I can be a lot more selective about letting only the people I'm cool with attend, right?
True that.
I get to pick the food, too. Of course, I make most of them myself. There's usually a dozen people or less, and all we really do is just hang out. Maybe do some grilling, karaoke, dancing, you know, the usual.
That sounds nice.
Yeah. You sure you're all right? You aren't exactly being eloquent yourself, as you put it. You must have something you want to get off your chest.
I don't know, Zachary. What am I supposed to say?
You can scream merde if you want. I won't snitch.
You want to know what I think? How I feel? I think my friend may have slept with my husband. At least, I'm pretty sure she isn't pregnant with his baby, which isn't much now, is it? My husband is a selfish, pretentious, bloody sack of shite, and you know what? I don't give a flying fuck anymore. My God.
Well, that ain't good. Not giving a crap won't make the problem go away.
I'm going to ask him for a break, Zachary. I'm not going to pretend that there isn't a problem, but I just need to step back.
Fair enough. As long as you don't just up and disappear on him, I suppose.
Yes. Now can we please stop talking about him? Tell me more about your small, simple parties. Karaoke and dancing. How does that even go together?
Simple, really. We hope Ash doesn't take the mic, put on a bit of fun music, and just dance.
Oh God, Ash. I guess I'm taking a whack at it. Either Ash is a shitty singer, or he plays all the, like, Weird Al stuff. Yeah, Weird Al.
Not that I can, but there ain't nothing complex about it.
You can't be that bad.
I'm pretty good with the twist. Or that's what they tell me, at least. I think they're just being nice. I'm sure it just looks awkward.
Least you can cook. Prove it. Prove it, please.
I've learned that men tend to exaggerate. You can't honestly be that bad, can you?
What? Do you need a demonstration?
Please?
That would be preferable, yes.
It's not like there's music here, Hannah. Come on. I can barely dance with music, and I don't want to be dancing alone. I'll just look silly.
I dance with you.
Imagine, mon ami. You are an artiste, are you not? With your photos and films and your guitar. You must know notes to play an instrument. Find a melody and a beat. Would it be such a stretch of the imagination? And don't fret, I will gladly be your partner.
I can tell by his expression that he's flustered, embarrassed. But no more protests escape him, and he focuses the slight tilt of his head. Then he starts to hum a little tune. I drag him to the gardens while he goes through the motions, and he gains courage. The farther we are away from other people. That's cute. We just dance. Though he stumbles at first, unsure and bashful.
Where did you even learn to dance, Zach? The 60s want their moves back, honestly.
College of two left feet, obviously. And I'll have you know the twist is still an awesome dance.
We're happy and we're having fun. Even if Zachary fumbles the steps and did the funniest, oddest movements that anyone can pass off as dancing. There's no need to impress anyone, however. Not even each other. This is the most I've smiled and laughed in a long time. Simple. Simple is nice. Alright, so obviously this went up, yes? Yeah. That was so fucking cute. God, I love these guys. They're great. They're my favorite. Zach's like one of my favorite characters in this damn game, and I love it. Honestly though, I don't understand or anything because I don't know. I just don't understand him because he's such a sweet guy. I wonder if he just doesn't want a relationship. He doesn't have time. He deserves to be happy at the bare minimum, you know? I mean, if he's happy not having anybody, then okay. But if not, then of course. Wonder if there's something that was supposed to occur on this day. Like, some of them are like unknown entries and all that shit. I don't know. Holy shit. I didn't actually ever see the little picture there. Oh, maybe that's why. Because I'm getting glimpses at other people's too. Okay. Oh, Isabella is so sad. I was just thinking to be said for what I'm about to do. Simple isn't the adjective I will describe the task at hand. Because really, how does one tell their husband that they want to separate and say, no, this is not a divorce? Not yet, at least. The possibility is there. And still, how am I even to explain that to Luke without him throwing a fit? Cutting too deeply into my sausages, I open my mouth to excuse myself. That is, until I spy Luke mashing and stirring his poached eggs with a fork like a petulant child. He sits silent all the while, chin in hand and elbow resting on the table. I worry that my absence after the debacle may have caused more harm than good.
Luke?
I got another achievement. It's not you. Okay, it's you. Oh god.
I think we need a bit of a break. You know, some time apart.
At my words, he grows still and silent. I'm not quite sure whether I should be worried or not. I take it as my cue to keep talking.
It's not permanent or anything like that. Just for a while. In a few days, perhaps. I was thinking I can move back into our penthouse in the meantime, but I won't be moving out right away, so that I can help settle everything here. And I haven't even thought of packing yet. And I'll want to ask Johans to assign some of our staff. Unless you want the penthouse anyway. Then I'll stay here instead.
No, you take the penthouse. It'll be easier for you.
He's being very quiet at this. It isn't supposed to be this easy, is it? Can he really react so aloof to it?
Isn't this to your liking? I imagine that you'd like the space and independence. You'll have the bed and covers to yourself, and you can have whatever you want prepared for meals. You can even have all the wine you want, though I'd rather that you don't.
This isn't about that, Hana. Well, it's partly that, but...
The man stops playing with his food, choosing to push his plate aside.
What's wrong, Luke?
He slumps back in his chair and stops short of just putting his feet on the table. I suspect he's wanting some wine or absinthe by now, but any sort of alcohol is suspiciously absent in his hand.
Aside from that disaster yesterday and you telling me you want a divorce, everything is peachy keen. Will you want me to start on the letters then? To start the divorce settlements and whatnot?
Oh my god.
Will you be seeking ways to throw me out onto the street without a penny to my name?
Oh my god.
No, Luke, this isn't a divorce. I just told you this is only temporary. Are you really having a sulk because of what she said yesterday?
I am having a sulk because you believe her. You stormed out and now you're asking for us to split up? Soon enough, you'll want to throw me out like I'm a piece of trash.
I think by this point I would have piped in and said, I'm not happy anymore.
Do you think I would be this calm if I believed her, Lucille Mitchell right?
His real name is Lucille?
Because believe me, if I did, well, it wouldn't be pretty. Besides, I know how you feel about children. It makes her whole statement laughable.
Sure, whatever you say.
His mouth draws into a thin line, and I can't bring myself to comment on his half-hearted reply. To me, the stunned silence that follows feels oppressive. It's only emphasized by the wall that has been built by my I actually don't know that word. Abances? I don't know. And it's hubris. And it looms between us, keeping us apart.
When are you leaving? In a week?
It won't take that long to pack. After All Saints, perhaps? I'll go and inform the staff of this.
He only nods. And I'd be lying if I say that didn't disappoint me. I expected more resistance. The man can be stubborn as a mule if he wants to be. Perhaps I can leave now, just to spite him. But that isn't like me. Even if this does end in divorce, it's a thing we both surely wish to avoid. We can still leave on amicable terms. There is no point making a mountain out of a molehill.
What are you still doing here? Just leave. You still have some packing to do, don't you?
Asshole.
Go ahead. I won't stop you.
Go ahead. And do nothing. There isn't much to do. It seems whenever I step up to the plate and try to take responsibility for something. Perhaps because everything is already being handled by someone hired specifically for that job. And with Johannes overseeing the staff and Luke handling everything else as a whole, doesn't leave much for me. I can't even take the job of delegation because all it takes is a word to another senior staff and everything will be taken care of for me. Moving here a few days ago may as well have been a chore that took most of the effort from me. That didn't take any real effort at all.
Yes, Hannah, go buy a mansion in the middle of nowhere. Good idea. Great plan.
There are no dishes to set aside and busy myself with. Any mess left behind is now nearly non-existent. To sit on the counter while eating cake is supposed to be my next plan. Alas, there isn't even one to finish off, and I don't know what brought me to the kitchens in the first place. It's not like I'm craving anything, nor have I any unfinished business left in here. But there's a calling to this room. Please tell me we're not going to the cellar, man. Speaking of calling, why not just do that? Might as well, since I have nothing else to do. At least that will require some effort on my part. With how cut off from the rest of Luxembourg the mansion is, and with how long it was abandoned before we moved in, having a landline is out of the question. The solution is supposed to be our mobiles, though it can't be much considering how spotty the signal is in the area. Take a bit of maneuvering to get a single bar as it is. Takes a bit, but as I said it would. I had to park my rear on one of the cold drawers, but that suits me just fine. Another matter that needs my effort is who to call. She who might be named is certainly off the list. Doesn't leave much to the category of close friends who attended the party, along with the category of who else is awake at this early hour. But soon enough, I manage and the call goes through.
Hello, Rebecca Gales here.
You called Becca?
Who's this?
Good morning, Becky.
Hannah? Oh wait, how did you get my number?
You responded to your RSVP through the phone. It's all saved in here, of course. I thought I'd like to say hi and make plans and get together sometime. Also, I'd love to hear news about your mother and father and about you, my dear. Oh, I hope I didn't wake you up.
Oh, you're good. It's sports day at school today, so I was just prepping for that.
Figures that you'd be a teacher as well. I'm sure your students must absolutely adore you.
I love Becca's little phone picture. She's like, what the fuck are you doing? But, I don't know.
Don't know about that.
Mathematics?
History, actually.
Yes.
Anyway, it's real nice to know you've got my number. I was going to ask for yours because Mom wanted to keep in touch.
You could have asked, silly girl. I would have gladly given it to you.
Couldn't, though, because, well, the thing that happened. But really am sorry, though. I gotta run. School, schedule, stuff. Is there anything else you want to say? Don't want to use the mobile while driving?
Oh, of course, of course. I shouldn't keep you. But I wanted to thank you for your company yesterday.
Not a problem.
I was hoping you could thank Zachary on my behalf as well. He was really kind and wonderful.
Well, you can tell him that yourself if you want. I can give you his number.
Yes, please.
Oh, no, I don't want to be a bother. Intruding on his privacy.
Pretty sure he'd be fine with it. If you two on a first name basis and all.
Well, it's just he's so fucking polite and everything. So of course it's gonna be a first name basis.
So his number, right, it's...
Oh, what the fuck? The call starts to static, much to my frustration. A strange clicking noise drowns out most of her words too. I barely understand what she's saying. The line completely dies. I can feel headache come along. It's just building up, starting from a light throbbing on one side of my head. The static's gone, and that helps a lot. But there is still that incessant, horrible clicking. Again and again and again. Which doesn't make sense. The mobile's turned off, isn't it? And if it isn't from the phone, then where? Looking about, I can't help but let my eyes be drawn to the hatch leading to the wine cellar once more. That's when the clicking stops, and I can hear that crying. That familiar crying from before. What happened the other day when I was told that nobody should have been down there. I try to forget about it because how it forgets and unsettles me so. One can hardly do that when I'm looking at the very thing I'm trying to forget. Somebody's crying down there again. But if I leave it alone, it simply won't stop bothering me for the rest of the day. They might have forgotten to lock it at the party going on.
This again? If somebody is pulling my leg, I will not be happy.
Oh god, please don't die. True enough, all it takes is a bit of a pull to open the hatch. As I look down the cellar, a sense of uneasiness washes over me. It isn't just a sudden onset of vertigo and nausea, but also the darkness. It's suffocating. And as I look down, it feels as if looking back at me. I worry something will suddenly pull me into that deep. The cries drown beneath the shrieks that start echoing in my head, high and shrill like nails being dragged across the chalkboard. What the fuck? They're all screaming, shouting at me. And I can just feel her rage. Help me! She wants to drown me, drag me down, and crush me in the very depths of darkness until there's nothing left in me. The deep abyss waits for me, for my death. They're all calling for it. This is a nightmare. There's a rope around my neck. Oh, fuck! And I can feel the rest of me being torn apart. And they're still screaming. I'm screaming, though it's not my voice that escapes my lips. It claws through, climbing up and forcing its way up my throat like putrid bile. I choke and gag, yet scream and shriek all at the same time. And I meet, but not meet. What the fuck? 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 Hold on. What am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do? Okay, I need to live. I need to live. I need to live. I need to live. What the fuck happened? Fuck. Did I do it? Am I okay? Okay, I made it. It pushes me down onto my knees before I'm prone and vulnerable on my stomach. It makes me tumble, and I can just feel my whole body seizing, writhing on the floor. Everything and nothing hurts. It feels like I'm on the verge of death. And if I'm not dying, I nearly wish I actually am.
Hannah, what is going on in there?
Why are you?
Brains.
Seeing Luke, something snaps back. I didn't take a gasp of my own air, volition for the first, my own volition for the first time in what feels like centuries. I rejoiced and cried for his name, if the pain did not rack my body. Instead, all I can do is stare listlessly as he comes to my side and lifts me up, cradling me in his arms. He tries to get me to my feet, perhaps take me out of here. But all he's able to do is get me to sit, make sure I'm not trashing on the floor. I still feel my muscles spasm, limbs jerking like a puppet on a string. Luke holds me tight and keeps me still so that I'm not hurting myself anymore. Whatever it is that happened, it has my mind feeling frayed and battered. Eventually, the pain dies down into a dull ache, and my own tongue starts feeling like cotton. It's only now that I feel the wetness on my cheeks, tears streaking down my face. A cough racks my body now that I don't feel like I'm choking. And it all just feels so horrible. But I don't care. I don't care.
Please.
What happened here? Who did this to you?
I don't know. I'm so sorry.
Shh, it's all right. You're safe now, Hana.
Not in this place.
You're safe now.
Shit, does it mean they're not breaking up anymore? Fuck. Oh, I just switched. Ah, man. God damn it. Oh, God. I can't believe that he... Oh, fuck. Alright. It's at 3 o'clock in the morning. I really gotta be going to bed now that I switched over to another new person. I'm actually gonna keep that one open. Just make sure. Yeah. Because I guess I'm gonna keep that one save open. I'm gonna continue to see how that's gonna go. But yeah, I do need to go to bed. So fortunately the change of character came at a pretty opportune time. But yeah, I had fun. Fucking terrified at a couple points. Especially that last thing, like what the fuck? But yeah. I'm probably gonna take a break from the game after this and play a couple of my other games. I got a couple new games I've been wanting to try out. So I'll probably do those next time as well. But until then, maybe till either tomorrow, or maybe in the next couple of days. I'll see you guys. Good night.